Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous Tuesday. In case you're wondering, if you were here with us in the pre-stream for 48 long minutes.
We love you and we thank you for that.
Yeah, sorry we're so late, but there's some reasons we were late that I want to talk about real quick. First, really it's two things that we have added on our website to the Flesh and Blood category. First is Crucible of War Unlimited.
Unlimited.
Pre-order. It's a secure pre-order, which means if you place the pre-order, you're going to get the product, and you also can't back out of it. So if you don't know 100% that you want it, don't buy it yet.
It's an industry-changing idea.
You commit to something, and we commit to something, and everyone's committed to something.
LSS commits, and everybody knows. But you can't have backseat takesy backsies.
Secure pre-orders are for people who are not afraid of commitments.
That's right. Unlike me in high school and college, and probably now.
But it was, well, that's interesting. It took a turn right there at the end that I wasn't expecting. The other thing that we added to the website is our Armory League subscription. So we did the April Armory League.
What?
And have absolutely loved everything, all the feedback we've been receiving about it, the way it went. Tons of people saying that they finally were willing to basically jump over.
Playing Constructive for the first time. Many people.
The barrier, there it is, the hurdle, to play Constructive for the first time. It's been really amazing. Been hosting an online Armory League through our Discord channel if you're otherwise unaware. But there's now a subscription available for that on the website if you sign up, as long as you're participating every month, 3 out of the 4 weeks that's happening. It's the first 4 Tuesdays of the month, every month moving forward. You're going to get charged. You'll get a notice. It'll be happening. As long as you participate in at least 3, you get the participation stuff.
Yeah.
Promos and stuff from future Armory
kits. That Rainbow Art extended stuff from the Armory kits. Yeah.
Then randomly the play mats are happening.
Cold
Cold foils. But if you don't, not only do you stop participating in that month's league, but we're also going to cancel your subscription.
Yeah.
Because we want to give people that would actually play a chance to get in.
You're kicked out of the store.
And assuming we actually do sell out of those, which we sold out last time, like quickly, like very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we've expanded. We've basically doubled the number of spaces that are available, which should make it easier for people to get in. But I still expect us to sell out. But
I don't do that. I lower my expectations all the time so that I'm always happy.
I'm hoping we sell out because the response we had was really positive. So I'm hopeful that we get to continue doing that. But we basically are going to try to make a once a month thing where spots become available again. That way, if you didn't get in, I know last time there were a lot of people disappointed they didn't get in. You'll have a chance to do that. So you can learn more on the website about the Armory League, and we're super excited to be doing it.
Yeah, the basic idea here is we ran that where you pre-ordered like a normal event. You registered for it, you paid the money up front, and then the event ran for 4 weeks. We're happy with that. It's almost over now. But rather than having that process every single month where you have to re-sign up, we're just making it a sub where like every month you'll get charged $20. That'll get you into the next 4-week league. And then at the end of that one, you'll get charged $20. You play the 4 weeks, get charged $20, play the 4 weeks. And if you miss that, there's a 4-week period where you miss two sessions where you're absent, then your subscription gets canceled. You get dropped from future pairings of the league. And then when the next sign-up period comes along, you can try to sign back up, assuming that you can get back in. So we just want to make sure that people who are actually playing every week, we don't have like half of the people paired with an absent person, and then it's like, oh, well, not much of a league if you don't actually get to play. So we're trying to make sure that everybody who's in actually can commit to a Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, and make that pretty reliably.
Kyle noting here, this is a big change from the first one. We are actually using Gym now, which is the official
we got the experience thing now.
Fab system. And so that's important because it makes pairing super easy. Pairing it through that, you can look and see who you're supposed to be playing and what table. But also it means that it factors into XP now. So you report the winner, each player reports the winner or loser of the first match, and then the winner gets experience, and that's just a cool bonus that gets to add on.
And also, if you really are thinking, man, I'm getting experience now, I must win all of my games and I'm going to take it very seriously, probably not the right event for you.
No.
The experience is great, but we're looking for the capital E experience.
Yeah.
Not that capital X experience.
I've been super happy to see because I asked a couple times in Discord for people's thoughts on it, and they have been impressed as well, and I'm impressed that this is what we're hearing, how laid back everyone is.
Yeah. Because I say stuff like I just said.
We're going to maintain that.
If you're not laid back, get out.
It's very low barrier. If you're new, it's a great place to be. The community on our Discord has been incredible at helping new people and answering questions and stuff. So definitely, if you're new, don't hesitate to do that. Mr. Yao saying, do you have to play your match on Tuesday? You do. So Unlike, it's not like a weekly pairing where you have a week to figure out how to do it. 8 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday nights. You have to be there by 8:15 at the very latest, and that's just how we do it.
Yeah, Obsidian can't make it on Tuesdays. Well,
Greg's saying
you
the Discord
lose.
just
I mean,
talked
sorry,
me into
Colin.
it, even though I get nervous as heck. There's no need to be nervous.
I mean, yeah,
It's
but
just people hanging out loving the game.
it's okay. You will be. I mean, I get nervous. I get nervous going to anything with other people, but especially like events. I mean, even when I'm like, I played Netrunner so much. It's like I would go to a 5-person thing and be like,
There's a little tension there up front, but I
So,
think
yeah,
once
you'll be
people
nervous,
play
but
that
it's
first
fine.
week, it's a lot easier. Kyle,
It's that. What is that? Hero's journey, right? So you got to face the tyrant. It's like, yeah, it's nervous and it's slightly uncomfortable, but the payoff is there. You'll have a great time.
It's really been,
have a great time.
Great. Kyle's saying this is amazing. Saying that's actually where I played my first game of Classic Constructed, and it was a great relaxed.
Perfect. And if anybody's giving you trouble and being a real pain, just tag us. Rafe. Tag Rafe.
Mainly Rafe.
I may not need to know about it, but Rafe does, and we'll be like, get out of here.
Obsidian asking any considerations for other days of the week. I think I need to switch my days off from Tuesdays back to Thursdays. Not currently.
For you, Colin, anything. It's Thursdays now.
Chris,
No, we don't. We'll do our best.
Definitely much less nervous for the Armory League than the skirmishes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because you don't have a good time with it. Play the game, have a good time.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And important to note, these Crucible Unlimited, so we had a lot of questions. We have an unlimited subscription. It's serving Monarch Unlimited as the next thing. We had a lot of internal discussion about, do you really want a subscription that serves Monarch Unlimited to a lot of players that might also already have all the Crucible they want? And then we go back to the third set and serve Crucible Unlimited, and then we serve the fifth set, Kingdoms Unlimited, through that sub. To avoid all of that, we're not serving Crucible Unlimited through the unlimited subscription. Instead, we've made it this a la carte secure pre-order. But what that means is we wanted to offer it to people at the subscription price and at the subscription shipping tier. So if you're a subscriber to Unlimited, you still have access to the same deal that you were expecting from the sub. If you're not a subscriber, welcome to what it feels like to buy Flesh and Blood at minimum price with free shipping on 3 boxes. It's a hoot. If you missed out on Crucible First Edition and you're like, I want to play the game, but it's really expensive, this is a great way to get all the unlimited you need at the lowest price that we can sell it to you. Not because we're like a Walmart or anything, but just because we want to get it out there. It's an unlimited set. It's not a collector's item. People need the cards. They need to be playing. And if you're out there thinking I should buy 1,000 bucks and try to flip them on eBay, we won't let you.
Get out of here.
We'll cancel it.
Real talk from Adam saying, are you guys playing Monarch today? We are not. We're not playing Monarch. We're just going to be hanging out, talking about all the previews since last week. Wildly enough, we were talking right before the stream, and we didn't even have the Illusionist reveal.
So much has happened in a week.
It feels like an eternity ago. But we are streaming Flesh and Blood on Thursday this week, and we're going to be playing with...
We're playing the Blitz decks.
The Blitz decks.
We've got all 4 of them. We're going to be playing them against each other. Unlike those silly Flesh and Blood designers who had no idea how to play, we're going to be telling you all the secret strategies and tips to make these decks actually good. Jason, who's this Jason guy,
That's right.
What, is he supposed to be good at the game? Played Levia? Fairly. Pretty well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I watched that gameplay.
You're not responding at all. Somebody should be calling me out on how ridiculous
I was reading chat. I realized that yesterday. There were things you were saying that didn't click until after the stream in Arkham. I was like, wait, was he talking about how backpack plus compared to that plan, the one where you get the 3 cards?
Stick to the plan, yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course stick to the plan's better. I was just focused on the game. So good questions coming on. Danny was asking earlier if we accept PayPal. We do not. This doesn't work on our website like
Stripe. Process with Stripe. It's super secure, super great.
Hold on, let me find.
It's the internet. Is the internet payment.
Steven asking if we're going to ever do a Blitz League. Right now, it's just Classic Constructed. We're trying to keep it really simple, and that's our favorite format. So a little favoritism there.
Classic.
Mr. Yao saying, will there be a Blitz deck delay from you guys too? Yes, we stick to the street dates just like everyone else. Sam says, how would participation prizes work for an Armory League for anyone outside the U.S. or is this U.S. only? So you can play outside the U.S., but U.S. customers get free shipping. And then if you're an international customer, when you're checking out, you'll just be charged shipping. And it'll show you the shipping when you're signing up. And that'll just happen every time. So,
and if that doesn't happen, let me know, please. I mean, something's broken.
So regardless of what you're getting shipped, whether it's the participation promo card or if you're getting one of the play mats or whatever, you just get charged shipping and it handles itself. So it's a little expensive, but also I think a lot of international people don't have access to regular Armory leagues, so that might be a way for you to get to participate.
You might have to play like 4 a.m. But I would do anything for a love situation.
Raymond asking, I was wondering when I would be charged for subscriptions for Monarch. So if you're talking about unlimited, it's usually 2 to 3 weeks before something comes out. Monarch Unlimited is like June 7th, I think, or June, first week of June. So it'll probably be in a couple, middle-ish of May, May to late May.
Here's an easy rule of thumb, 2 to 3 weeks before release date. Almost always 2, but we give ourselves a little room to breathe. Sometimes less than 2, but we never say that out loud. And the main reason is because with the FFG products, sometimes we don't know supply until later, and Pokemon, like that kind of stuff. So like, it's not strictly, we can't say 2 weeks because like business life happens.
Well, sometimes we don't until after 2 weeks. It's crazy.
Yeah, but almost you can bet not the horse, but maybe the mule on the fact that it's 2 weeks before the release date of the product.
Yeah. And
Fridays,
they're exceptions. Like in if your subscription is over a certain amount, like if it's really a large subscription, sometimes we charge a little bit earlier. So there's just read the deeds.
Somebody asked, is our Discord a good place to schedule pickup games?
It is.
It's a fantastic. We have a Match Finder thing, and you can go to the Flesh and Blood channel and use that
There's a
instead.
channel called Match Finder, and it's super simple. There's people playing Fab on our Discord server all the time, so it's a great place to do it.
Find anyone named Colin, and they're probably playing.
That's right.
There's a lot of Collins in there. They're always playing games.
Asking the question, I'm thinking about starting the game. Any recommendations? Best place to start right now, in my opinion, is a couple boxes of Welcome to Wraith, if you can find them. 2 boxes is a good place. If you can find the Blitz starter decks that are about to come out, that's also a great way to start playing. Outside that, buy whatever you want to get your hands on.
Anything. You can get your hands on anything.
Greg, I love seeing it. He says he thinks our Discord is a bit more chill than the main Flesh and Blood Discord.
That's good. Yeah,
we try to be pretty chill.
I imagine this channel that you're watching right now is a little more chill than a lot of Flesh and Blood
That'd be good to know.
Or YouTube channels where we're not, it's like, I always joke about it, but you put your thumbnail, where you've cut out your 2 faces and it's Zach and I's face and we're like, and there's like some gummy worms and there's like a Flesh and Blood card and it's like, oh, you wouldn't believe what's Flesh and Blood is dying tomorrow. Here are my predictions, that kind of stuff. So we just don't yell.
A lot of the rocket emojis.
Yeah, we just don't yell much at all.
Diamonds and hands,
If we are yelling, hopefully it's for comedic effect.
We've yelled when we celebrate a victory over like
at Arkham?
Yeah,
we've yelled at Arkham.
Yesterday,
I've yelled at Arkham in non-celebration.
Yeah, that's after the camera goes off.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you want to talk about Monarch?
I want to talk about Monarch. Let's go to this card reveals section. Let's reveal some cards. Let's talk about this.
Chris, I'm going to just clarify this real quick. It says, if I'm signed up for a Monarch Unlimited subscription, does this transfer to a Crucible of War sub when that is announced? So that's specifically one thing we're not doing. For the Unlimited subscription, it's forward-moving sets. So Monarch's coming out, then Monarch Unlimited, not even a month later. That's obviously going to be included in the subscription. But Crucible is a really weird scenario because when the set first came out, we didn't even have an Unlimited subscription. And there were a lot of people that were a part of our Unlimited subscription now that did not want more Crucible. And a lot of people that did. So we're doing Crucible as a pre-order, secure pre-order item on the website separately. It's available now, as long as we have stock of that.
Same price and everything.
Yeah.
We got you.
Same price as subscription, free shipping on 3 boxes, etc. But then moving forward for future sets of Unlimited, it will be included. So Kingdoms Unlimited, presumably, and so on and so forth will be in that Unlimited subscription.
Okay. Anything else? Is there anything else we need to worry about or talk about? Covered? Have we covered all the ground?
Naaman says, what about sponsorships? Do you have any? Are you thirsty?
Well, that's a good question. I just had a Kind Bar, which is another potential sponsor we're working on. So if anybody out there knows a Kind Bar executive or is one,
that'd be amazing.
We'd be happy to support your product. Payment plan is about $10,000 every mention. So we usually try to name the thing 3 times in a stream. So that's 30 grand.
That way we can pay for the talent.
Reasonable price considering the number of people watching this right now. I'd say the likelihood of you making 30 grand off of our mention of your product is 100%. Speaking of, Nalgene Water Bottle is made in the USA, 100% HDPE food grade plastic, safe to drink, safe to smash. I've run one over once, and it was fine.
What a tagline. Safe to drink, safe to smash.
I've definitely run one over. 14 ounces is my preference. It allows you to carry it around with
giant
you.
Water bottle, though.
But you can carry it with you and get an arm workout as well. Or if you strap it to your leg, like I sometimes do with a belt or something, you can also work on your quads.
Good to know. Helpful information. Also, nothing he said just now is true.
But, well, most importantly, I'll say one thing that's true. You got to hydrate. You got to drink water, and you got to drink a lot of it, more than you think. I mean, this is the science. It's come out. You got to drink the water. Keeps your brain healthy and moist.
Wet brain.
Keeps your organs functioning correctly. A lot of the health problems are in many ways linked to, if not exacerbated by, a lack of hydration, which is, of course, again, exacerbated by drinking a lot of soda, drinking a lot of coffee can be an issue
Eating
there.
a lot of salt.
A lot of beer, a lot of alcohol that's going to dehydrate. So you just got to take care of your body. And we just want everybody to live a good, fulfilled life. So just put some gas in the tank, is all I'm saying. And when you do, make it a Nalgene water bottle.
Are saying they bought a bottle because of you. So it's
good.
working. Nalgene should really activate.
And you get rid of these single-use plastics, complete nonsense. We need to make less of that trash, like ultimately zero, if we can. And, if you need to water plants, I water the plants with this. I mean, it's
so useful for transporting liquids.
And here's the other thing. You got to be serious.
Tell me more.
Be serious about this. When you're playing tabletop games,
there's only 10 of them left.
Like we are
Bye
here.
now.
When you're playing tabletop games, Zach is a fool, and he's the demonstration. The promotional deal that we have worked out is one of us has to be it's kind of a bad cop, good cop situation. So Zach has the open container with water and has spilled it multiple times on stream. He dunked one into his computer.
Now, that was a cocktail in one of those highballs. I've never spilled the water.
He got a champagne bottle that was uncorked. I mean, so he's the guy showing you what happens when containers are not securely closed.
I am the intuitive, experiential guy. And someone's got to experience this for us.
That's right. You're showing the way.
That's
and
right.
I'm the professor type that is saying, if you would close the container, you would not have a risk of injury.
That's right.
To your cards or your person.
But I'm over here just trying to live life. You also have a phone case.
That's right.
Meanwhile,
one of us is thinking, and the other one is
there's a company that spent
living
tens of millions of dollars to make this feel a certain way in your hand, and I'm gonna experience it.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, my phone is not dishwasher safe. I assume we meant the bottle. I don't know. I have no idea. Some questions coming through, and then we're gonna get to the previews. I swear.
Are you guys sure you want to be watching this?
I mean, they're here asking questions.
Is this really what you came in for?
They're really goading us into doing it. Mr. Yao saying, with the secure pre-order, do you pay up front? You do. So it's not like it's just a pre-order, the standard old pre-order, but you can't back out of it. Neither can we.
Yeah, we can't. We got them submitted. It's coming.
Michael saying just like that.
We give the numbers.
I bought 2 boxes of Crucible Unlimited.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Keyforge asking, the Keyforge, has TCG considered selling Monarch First Edition at a higher price? With the current prices, I would love to give you guys the cash if I could, even marked up. Listen to last week's podcast. Answer is no.
That's great. No, we're not going to do that. But that's wonderful. If you want to write us a check, you can find our address on the website.
You can sponsor. In this case, we have no sponsors, but Ryan says, I always believe whatever Steven says. Why would he lie?
Very dangerous.
Hold on, there's more questions.
In the first 20 minutes of the stream, you should probably believe nothing that I'm saying.
Always. Kurt asking, you knew this was coming. When will I be able to increase the quantity of my first edition subscription? You guys are the best. Hey, thank you so much. We're working on that. Stay tuned. Sign up for the wait list. You'll know when that happens. We'll be talking about it even when it happens. But on the website, first edition subscription, sign up for that wait list if you want to be notified as soon as that's actually available.
And it's likely / possible that it happens after Monarch, before Kingdoms. Okay.
But you don't need to be refreshing the page every day right now.
You can. You crank up my page views. Yeah, all our AdSense dollars are going to go through the roof.
Anthony Flores saying, how do we get the link for the Discord? Footer of teamcovenant.com.
We don't have ads. Also, I need to be putting that in other places. Everybody always complains about this and asks about it. It's like we should be putting the link to the Discord in the Twitter profile and the Facebook
To be fair, though,
profile.
I also have people coming through various places saying, hey, where's the number that I can text you guys at, which will pop up on the screen right now. And that's in the Twitter bio.
Oh.
So,
well, nobody goes to Twitter.
Some people do.
Nobody checks Twitter, unless you're just looking to be angry.
Brian says he wants nothing more than to be watching this right now.
You're a big Twitter guy. You've always been a Twitter fan.
I'm on Twitter, yeah.
I think the problem is that I started hating all of it early, and that didn't help anything.
Sure. You did hate all of it early. Meeseek says, I won't lie. I've been one to refresh their website daily.
It's been going sideways since Zanga. That's all I'm saying.
You did. You had a Zanga, that's for sure. Jonathan asking, if I order 8 boxes, do I get 2 sealed cases or 8 loose boxes? Sorry if this is
Classic
answered.
question.
That gets asked a lot. So maybe one or the other. There's a lot of reasons why we don't guarantee we ship in cases. Basic example is if a case gets damaged, we'll open it up to make sure the boxes aren't damaged. Also, just the way we pack stuff out, not everyone orders by the case. And so guaranteeing that you're going to get a case when you order in increments of 4 is just a huge logistical complication. It's not like we're like going through picking out boxes and like trying to, find the ones with fables in them or something like that. But there's just a lot going on behind the scenes that make that really tough for us to promise, even though
95+% of the time it will happen.
Most of the time it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it will happen. Because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize if I have an order in front of me with 8 boxes, I'm just going to pull 2 cases and put them in the box. But sometimes it's not possible. You get that weird, like at the end of the supply, and you get it.
Just trying to. The chat's on fire today.
You guys are going
awesome.
going wild. It's a great day.
Yeah.
Good day.
Right. Steven says, "What are we texting them for?"
That's a great question. Honestly, don't know.
Well, there's little things. Like as an example, when I was in the pre-stream earlier, and you were over there, clacking to get the Armory League subscription, the Crucible Unlimited up.
Yeah.
I texted everyone that has signed up for Fab notifications, and I was like, hey, if you're interested in being in our Armory Leagues going forward or grabbing some Unlimited Crucible War, making sure you get that, now would be a good time to check out the website. And that happened before anything else happened.
I screamed it on the Discord pretty early.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. That is one place where I scream quite often.
The other thing is, literally, because I think both of us and really just organizationally, there's a lot of social media frustration built up, and like
we're millennials.
Lack of interest in ever checking Facebook again.
We see it murdering.
So if you want to hear from us, what we would a lot of times be posting on social media and stuff, or announcements and that kind of thing, we text it out as well. And also, if you want to ask questions or reply in a one-on-one, non-public forum, that's a good place to interact with us. Mostly me.
You might text, how does Steven get his hair to look so good on camera? And that's something you might not want to post publicly, because that could be embarrassing to ask. But we'll tell you.
Greg asking why we stopped putting stickers in our orders.
Oh, man. Greg.
We used to do that with every order.
While.
Yeah,
a long time. There's a lot of good reasons for that.
That actually relates to a question someone asked earlier, which is, will we ever talk about the waste generated by tabletop games?
Yeah,
/ collectible
that was a big
games?
thing. We actually had that conversation very significant. It's like,
we're working on some stuff related to that. We try to be conscious of what we're doing. And I also know that a lot of the publishers we work with, they're looking at solutions for that, from booster packaging all the way to all kinds of new methods for distribution and delivery.
Kevin saying our Armory League sub says it starts May 2020.
That's a long time ago.
I can't imagine who made that mistake.
That?
Yeah, you got to compute. I mean, you can do it on my phone.
I bet I can beat you there.
Oh, is it a race now? Oh, you want to compete?
I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm just going to win.
We'll change it to 2021. Unless
it does kind of still feel like 2020.
I know, it's the year. It's just like, it's kind of like how everything that happened that was older is like in my childhood wheelhouse was in the 90s. But the reality was it was really in the 2000s. But I think everything I liked as a high schooler and middle schooler was in the 90s. So I said, like, oh, I remember the 90s when like this thing was happening. It's like, no, it's 2000s.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of a dead period. It's like nobody thinks about the 2000s as anything but the year 2000, and then everything after it is adult stuff for me.
My entire childhood happened in the 90s. Not really.
Didn't. No, it didn't.
That feels that way. Where do I change
your baby childhood did? Down there, bottom right there. Yeah. I like to try to insulate myself from me knowing how to do things so that I can.
I like to try to insulate myself from knowing how to do things so that way I can't do it.
Spoken like a true CEO.
Yeah, actually, no. That for a long time that wasn't true. Even now with the Armory League, it's happening on a real level because I don't really understand gym.
Oh, good.
Like I don't know how it works, and it's one of the first things that I truly do not understand.
Oh, very nice. And well, you'll be reporting your results. Did you sign up for the league?
I did.
All right, good.
Yeah, that worked, but I didn't read much and just click buttons. You know, I should say 2021 now.
I just want to intuit how it works. How would
figure it
I
out.
think it works? And that's
Worst
probably
case scenario is I'm out $20. That'll be right.
Yeah, that's fine.
You ready
Just
to do
sell a
this?
fab card and you can sign up 20,000 times. I'm ready. I'm gonna throw a total variable on you though.
You're gonna start with a different card.
I'm starting. All right, just stick with me.
All right.
Do you want to share this? Let's just share my phone. Right here. Look.
Chris, go to teamcover.com, click Flesh and Blood. You'll see the Armory League subscription. Click that. You'll learn everything you need to know.
Okay. Should we start?
Chris, your deck, you can change the deck every week.
Change it every week.
Yeah, and as soon as you have Monarch cards, you can put them in there.
No rules, just right.
Yeah.
That's always been our motto there at Covenant. No rules, just right. Is that Outback?
I don't know.
I think that's Outback Steakhouse.
Nah. Outback's like got the Australian thing going on, right?
Yeah. No rules, just right. Does that make it sound more believable?
Nailed it. I mean, your accent was actually, I'm sure all Australians out there are going to be really happy with that.
Oi. I don't know. I get it's kind of a, well, I guess it is kind of a British thing, I guess, deep down, way back. Well, I like oi. I don't think Australians say oi, do they? That's kind of a London thing. Oi. What do they say? Mate? A lot of mate? Is that it? I don't know. Let's talk about Illusionist, because it's really exciting to me.
All right, what do you got here?
And my concern is that it's too good. Not too good for the game, but too good for me. In that it'll be too strong to be enjoyable.
Oh, if it's on tier 1, then you're going to be uninterested.
I'll just wait for it to get bad.
You can always play a tier 1 hero as a tier 2 hero.
That's true. I can just make it bad.
Choice of cards.
But it's really, you know what? As much as I agree with that statement, I'm more interested in something that is inherently bad and trying to make it good.
People are saying, what was the beer that was, you know, they said it earlier. Foster's, Australian for beer. I like Jim's here. He says, Team Covenant, American for fab.
Oh, yeah, there you go. As everybody knows, if you think of Flesh and Blood, you think Team Covenant.
Crikey? That's a word. Crikey.
Let's pull up Prism here. Sculptor of Arclight.
Now, can you weave me a tale?
Mm-hmm.
You've told me forever how much you would love to see Illusionist be the class that gets added to Fab next.
I've never been able to play an Illusionist in anything aside from a role-playing game.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
Where were you at? What was going on?
It was too much for me, man.
Yeah.
Everybody was tagging me in the Discord, which was great. I was like,
you didn't have
you know,
social media and you're getting hit up.
I was like mowing or something. I'm just beside myself with how much I think this is great. And I think it's going to be a really weird class to play. But like, not weird like Kano. It's less weird. It's not less weird. It's the right kind of weird to me. And here's what Illusionist seems to be doing. You can basically always block some damage, like kind of instantly. So you can kind of find your way out of weird situations. Like I think of the moment where like, oh, dominate attack and it's got a hit effect. And I can block it for 4, but it's a 5 attack. And then it's like, boom, Spectral Shield, block 1, no hit effect.
What's a Spectral Shield? How does this work?
It says banish a card from Prism's Soul, create a Spectral Shield token, which is an aura that says, if your hero would be dealt damage, instead destroy Spectral Shield and prevent 1 that source would deal. Now that's not optional.
How much does the ability cost?
Ability costs 2. And a card from the Soul.
You pay 2.
Just a lot.
Lose a card from Soul, and then in the future you have a prevent 1 damage aura out.
So you can do that as an instant. So you can be like, oh, I'm about to take a critical 1 damage. It's going to have a big impact. Like you think about, I think about Ninja a lot of the time, you know, where they have like those 4 attacks and then maybe it's the Mask of Momentum moment or whatever. And you block with a 3 and then they bump it or something and then you can, Spectral Shield. You know, these are just totally off the wall examples. This is not real information. But that's the one use of it. But then the other use of it is you can turn a defensive shield into an offensive weapon that does 4 attack with go again.
How do we do that?
I don't know. It's in here somewhere.
It's the orb. I don't know the name of it.
The orb of... Wait, is the equipment like way... Oh my gosh, there's so many beautiful cards here.
I got you.
Yeah, hit me with that aura, would you? Or the orb of...
Yeah, the Iris of Reality.
Iris of Reality.
During your action phase, illusionist auras you control are weapons with 4 attack, and once per turn action, spend 3, attack, go again.
Yeah.
So you could pick, if you had 4 blues and you had 4 auras, you could pay 12, attack 4 times.
That's right. And still have an action point remaining.
Wow.
To do, you know, nothing with it.
To play something from Arsenal.
Yeah, maybe. So there's a couple of different ways that this looks like it's going to play to me. Like one is at the end of essentially these auras are going to be like weapon attacks from Bravo or Brute. And that at the end of your turn, I instant a Spectral Shield. At the start of my turn, I pitch the 1 card I have left in my hand, and I hit you for 4, and then I still have a blocky shield. And then if you don't hit me, or if I'm able to block your attack, now I can maybe do another Spectral Shield at the end of your turn, and now I've got 2 auras. Can I afford to do 2 attacks and then something else with it going? I don't know. But like, you know, it's the kind of thing where if you don't deal with the Spectral Shields, eventually you can build up to a pretty significant turn.
Because this is an instant, right? So her ability on Prism. So you can create a shield and immediately swing with it for 4.
Yeah.
Which means that if you have 5 resources in hand, you know you can do a Gogan attack at 4 and have a prevent 1 going into the next round.
Yep.
That if they don't mess with, could stack up pretty gross.
And even if it just blocks 1, I mean, that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
I mean, that warrior piece of equipment does that. Remember that card? The one that everybody's complaining about for good reason?
Oh, the boots?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we won't talk
So it's like that,
the,
except it costs 2 and
the
banishes.
unnameable boots.
So I think this is going to be great. And, you know, so once per turn instant, so you also have plays where, like, if you have enough money, you can, at the end of Zach's turn, pay 2, summon a Spectral Shield. At the start of my turn, pay 2, summon a Spectral Shield. Pay 3, swing, do something. So I think you're going to have to play Illusionist very, like tricky, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I think that's going to be great.
The orb also, it's worth saying, the Iris of Reality, it can turn any of your auras into attacks.
Any of them. Yeah.
Including...
Does it say Illusionist or all auras? Because I need to know if
you read that text. I'm just kidding.
I scowl so much. I watched back our last Monarch thing. I need to look at the camera more.
Illusionist auras.
Okay. So your enchanting melodies and whatnot don't count.
Now, before we go too far down this Illusionist dream, you want to cover all the Illusionist cards first?
Yeah, we're doing Illusionist first.
Right.
I've got the thing here.
Because we got boots to talk about, generics to talk about that happened after our stream last week, and then they dropped Prism on top of us. They keep just adding, like, as an example, they do this really well. They do the Steve Jobs one more thing.
Yeah.
Except
20,000 times.
Illusionist, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Everyone thought it was just going to be Guardian or something.
Right.
Or Wizard. But then...
Guardian or something.
But then they were like, they're CC Blitz decks. These are just starter decks. These are fine. Mentors. What is this full-bleed crazy action going on? So who knows? I'll tell you what. I find myself multiple times a day wondering what the Fabled in the set's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know...
I would like to not know that until I open it.
What if they only printed like 5?
Of that card?
It's possible.
I would love to see them do like the 20 Blade full art. Where they actually do only print like 5, or like a playset of 3.
Yeah, you gotta like track it down. Yeah, that's great.
Can you imagine if there was one playset of that card in existence?
Everybody would. Yeah.
It'd be worth $1 bazillion.
It doesn't
in Shroot bucks.
It would be. I think it would be awesome if it was a common, which is a different crazy art style, and there were 3 in the world.
Yeah,
you don't need them to play it.
Even if there were like 90, it's like there's 30 playsets in existence of this alternate version of the card.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Like make it reasonable to maybe see one in your lifetime.
Everybody here at LSS can have these ideas for free.
Yeah,
we won't even charge you a finder's fee for this.
You know what? I would bet that in their 7+ years working on this game,
they've never thought of that.
Not once.
Let's talk about these heralds. So this is another thing that this is the main crux of at least the light illusionist style here, which is what Prism is.
Look at that art.
So 7 heralds, and these heralds are phantasms, and that's really important to note for illusion. And what a phantasm is, from my reckoning, a very strong attack that can be blocked easily by a 6 attack or higher defending card, right? So I think what's going on here is if you have the strength of belief, you don't believe the phantasm, and therefore it can do no damage to you. And that's represented in a defending card with 6 or more attack. But if you don't have enough belief in the form of the attack on the cards there, they wreck you. Now, who's really good at 6 attack or higher cards? Brute. So it's not even necessarily about believing or not believing the phantasm. I think Brute is like, whatever. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of this weird herald thing. I'm here to smash you with a club.
They're springing through it, and it's like, that's fake.
So whatever. Yeah, it's like they don't have time to be scared. Whereas like a ninja, for instance, or ranger, is like, like I'm a more tactical fighter, and there's this thing that I now have to factor, you know?
Keyforce said Dwight Brute.
Yeah, and Guardian's the same way, right? So Guardian has this kind of aura understanding of like stability and whatnot, and is like, no, that's not real.
Because Guardian, I'm gonna bet, right? It's like if you do the color pie thing, where you have the different classes and stuff next to each other, that Illusionist and Guardian have an overlap, and it's auras. That's mechanically the thing that they share, because Guardians also deal in auras quite often.
That's very nice.
So it makes sense that they're not prone to it.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, so you have both angles, and I would actually bet that Brute is opposite of Illusionist.
Yeah.
Like it's on the other side.
Wait a minute. Now, if that's true, we could form a
diagram's
theory
getting
here.
formed. Yeah, hold on.
So does that mean that Warrior and Runeblade are opposite?
Well, there also could be missing pieces to the puzzle, right?
But do they always release four opposites?
I think Ninja and Warrior might be together, next to each other, because they're whole attack reaction bits.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll never know. Herald of Erudition 2 cost. Now you'll see this. So there's a phantasm on everything. All these heralds. So that's dominate, and then if it hits, put it into your hero's soul, and draw 2 cards. Unbelievably good card.
Yeah, so you don't want that to hit.
You got to give this puppy go again, and then the pain train continues on this. So this is one of those things where like you herald, you dominate. They can only block with 1 card. Hope it's not a 6 attack or higher. It hits. You put it into your soul. You draw 2 cards. You pitch one of those cards to create a spectral shield. You pitch the other one to swing for 4 with the new spectral shield, because now you can banish the card that you just put into your soul, which is Herald of Erudition. There's some good turns set up by this. I think it's going to be a big deal. And then there's also cards that reduce the attack power of the defending card that your opponent's playing. This is a new change to the rules that's happening, so we'll get to that. But there are ways to kind of control this. And so much of the game of Illusions is going to be these phantasms, and making the moments where they hit important / predictable, but also using them to continue to pester your opponent's hand and get big attacks out of it.
Sure.
So that maybe you run a lot of defense reactions in Illusionist, I don't know, so that you can easily block the smaller attacks and they have to waste the big attacks like Command and Conquer on blocking your phantasms. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm excited about it.
I also feel like the threat of phantasm attacks will make me want to hold that card until the end.
100%.
Even on the turns you're not doing it.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting, like, even Prism's ability is an instant. So being able to draw up, even if you don't have Go Again, gives you the resources to use her instant to create the aura.
Yeah, definitely.
As an example.
Yeah. 100%. I'm into it. I think it's, and people asking about, is it going to shake them out? I think it will fundamentally, on purpose, shake up the metagame, as I think a big new set probably needs to do in a very fundamental way. Especially
the new, like base set, the headline set of the year.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it will succeed, and the general design philosophy of the game will succeed because it's segmented into all these little classes and all these different pies, as Zach was talking about earlier. But if each of those little pie slices forces you to consider things during deck building and metagame analysis when you're going into an event, but also isn't so strong that if you don't play to it, you have no chance of winning. I think those things will be very successful. So like, I might include 3 to 6 more 6 attack cards than I did previously in these builds. Like if I play Ranger, right? All my attacks are 5 and 4. It's like, well, I need to slot in, I don't know, maybe those 3 Command and Conquers go in, maybe 3 of that Rally the Rear Guard or whatever it is. And so my hope is that it will force less min-maxed deck builds unless somebody wants to take a chance. You can always roll the dice on the metagame and say, I'm not going to play against Illusionist. If I do, I lose. If I don't, I'm going to crush. You can always do that. But I do hope that it becomes a little bit more balanced where like I got some big attacks, I got some small attacks, I'm doing my thing, but I've also got to play to the meta a little bit.
Well, I assume beyond even meta considerations, it's the tools you're packing in your sideboard, which are going to be really important, being multi-purposed, where it's like, yeah, it might not be the ideal thing that I'm putting in, but it lets me get these 2 matchups better, right? Where it's like, maybe without this, you would not have 6 damage attacks sitting over on the sideline sometimes. But if you can find a use for those in multiple instances, I think that's what your sideboard is going to become. And it's going to specifically be targeted at whatever you're not that great against.
Yeah.
Because you're already pretty good with your standard version of your build against Wizard. Putting extra blues in your sideboard for Wizard is fine in concept, but also maybe not necessary.
Yeah. And, you know, if you imagine, so Wizard, your sideboard's going to get really taxed. I mean, we're talking about 12 cards here, essentially. So your sideboard, if you're sideboarding a bunch of blue cards against Wizard, like I was able to do early in the game, Arcane Rising, it's better just to have a balanced deck, which is a good thing to do anyway. Like have that blue-yellow-red spread or blue-red spread. Then you don't have to sideboard for Wizard because you already have the money.
Yeah.
So now you can knock that need off the sideboard. And similar to Illusionist, if I just pack a few 6 attacks in my main, I also don't have to worry about sideboarding against Illusionist as much. So it becomes a much more interesting deck building puzzle.
And you can't just min-max one direction completely.
Yeah.
Which is a good tension for a card game to have.
Yeah, Adam Ninja has no class cards that are 6. Ranger has no class cards that are 6. These are the high agility classes. So
I play all
naturally,
sorts of classes
you can
with
scare
6,
them.
Yeah. Even Runeblade
It's an
has
illusion.
a lot of good big attacks like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if everybody's running big attacks, well, who can succeed when the entire meta is running big attacks? Honestly, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll bet there is one.
Someone that's good at defense. Hi, Dorinthia.
Oh yeah, Dorinthia. Huh. It's interesting.
Yeah. Or Ranger with all his reacts, where you can get around dominate and stuff.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking of just earlier today? So like
Ranger?
watching
No way.
Levia play. Wait, like Leviathan. We heard the designers say it, Levia. I was just kidding about Jason earlier. I hope you guys know that. Jason's a brilliant, obviously, Flesh and Blood player, I would assume. Although designers aren't always the best at their games.
In fact, most designers I've met aren't that great at their games.
Yeah, but I think Jason's really good at Flesh and Blood. Maybe the best. But I was thinking that Levia, or I'm going to say that wrong every time. Levia. What do you want to do? You want to block a lot early, get a bunch of cards in your discard pile so that you can trigger the goes to banish effect because you need that to power like Graveyard Marauder and that kind of thing. So think about Guardian against that. If every attack you dominate and they can only block with one card, they're sitting on a hand of attacks that they can't play because they don't have enough stuff in their discard pile.
I do like that.
Isn't that cool? Like the way that the metagame,
as a resident Guardian player,
the way that it's developing is crazy.
Well, and I think that's I played a game over Discord this past week against my brother. He's playing Mechnologist.
Yeah.
And we only had time for one game, but I really wanted to play more because it reminded me of that situation where I just started playing differently against one of your decks.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was
it was Ranger. They just started blocking everything.
There it is. And like I knew exactly how I would approach that game differently. No cards changed. Like literally just the way I was doing it. And that's one of my favorite parts about this game is just how much I think you can actually alter the outcome of the game strictly based on your decisions. It's amazing.
That's what you want in a game, isn't it?
Yeah. What's this card? This looks crazy.
So let's move on. Arclight Sentinel. Yellow pitch. Tons of yellow cards in light. We've seen it a million times. It's just like it looks good.
Hey, Peter asking what we'll be doing in a Discord league for May. Check the website.
Check out the subscription
for the Armory.
We're going to do it indefinitely moving forward until we don't think it's doable anymore.
That's right.
It could go on for the next 10 years.
I would love to see it.
I would too.
I've been having a really good time.
Arclight Sentinel is a prism specialization. 6 cost. So it's big. Obviously.
Hey,
but you're going to run a lot of
Shiana
blues.
can play this card.
Oh my gosh.
I'm always thinking about that.
If I never heard that again on this stream,
you're going to hear
too
it
soon, wouldn't it?
incessantly. I just hope we finally get a Shiana adult at some point. I want to play Unconstructed.
It's light, illusionist, aura, and it's an instant. So you can instantly create an aura for 6 money.
Oh, wow.
If it's in the arena when an opponent announces an attack, they must choose it as the target of the attack. And it has an ability called Spectra. It says it can be attacked, and when it becomes the target of an attack, destroy it and close the combat chain the attack does not resolve. So basically, pay 6... their attack has to target this thing instead of you.
That's crazy.
Potentially crazy.
That's a lot, though.
But it's a lot of investment.
Is there a way to play it for less?
Now, keep in mind, if you summon this at the end of their turn, you can attack with it for 4 and go again. And then that next turn, they have to attack it. If they don't have go again, if they're not running a wide build, you get an entirely fresh hand because they got to waste their turn on this thing.
But Can you pay 6 and then also pay 3 to attack with it? That's a tall order.
It's called 3 blues. Right? Am I wrong?
Now this, you know what this is. I think I clicked. That card earlier that hits, you draw 2.
Yeah.
This is an instant. So just at the end of your turn, being able to drop this out when you have the resources to do it.
Yeah, it's helpful.
It's like, okay, you want to swing with something?
You have to. Otherwise, they're just going to sit there and do nothing forever.
Yeah.
So they just got to wait. It's similar to those demons that you can summon.
Like against Guardian, this would be so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like, I get 1 attack. It's a big attack with Dominate each round, and then you just play this.
But against Ninja, again, so like
Hada.
Ninja's really good at just Kodaching this thing for 1 and continuing on. It has no impact on Ninja. But having 6 attack cards that can block these phantasms, Ninja struggles with. So there's different parts of these classes that are good against this and bad against this. Welcome to design, right? Talking about Genesis, I looked at this card and I thought this was the best Flesh and Blood art that I've seen. I showed this to my wife and she also was completely taken aback by it. That kicked off a conversation about the fact that we're all just really playing a game of art collection.
That's right.
Because this is unbelievable. If you saw this at the Sistine Chapel or whatever, it would be an instant masterpiece and you would say, I've got to travel across the world to see this thing in person. You see this?
Do
you see this?
In person, yeah.
Look at that card.
That looks really cool.
It's obviously a play on the Michelangelo and the Da Vinci. And,
Yeah. Also,
whatever.
before we get to this, the card we were just talking about,
Yeah, Spectra.
it means the attack doesn't resolve.
Oh, there's no go again.
Which means go again doesn't work.
Yeah, Ninja's
So-
hose no matter what you do.
Even a Kodachi is not great.
Well, so you'd have to have extra action points.
Yeah, you got to generate the actions before you start swinging.
Which is weirdly easier with back alley break line now, which can easily go on top and put in your face down, face up. That's good to know, though. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
for
that's
that
good.
go again.
Good rules.
Does not resolve. Pretty cool.
Tell me what this Genesis does besides look awesome.
4
it makes
cost.
the Michelangelo thing too, right? Genesis. Okay, cool.
4 cost, yellow. Start of your turn, put a card from your hand into your hero's soul. It's an aura, remember. So like at the start of every turn, you get to put a card into your hand, into your soul. If that card was an Illusionist card, you create a Spectral Shield. If it's a light card, you draw a card.
You could create it and also draw a card. Okay.
And it also has Spectre where you have to attack it.
Okay. See,
This is the best card I've seen yet for the game.
you play this. If it stays around to the start of your next turn. Oh, it's an instant. You play this at the end of their turn.
Yeah, you do. We know how this works.
And then you put a card in.
This
you get
card-
a token and a thing.
It's so good. This card is so good, Zach.
Oh, it can be. It doesn't necessarily have to be attacked.
Yeah.
But it's going to get attacked.
Yeah.
So that's a pay for, kind of make them waste an attack.
Because they can't let this sit on the table. You can't let this sit on the table. If this card, so if you let this card hang out, they get a card into the hero's soul, they create a Spectral Shield token, so they save 2 resources and a banish, and then they draw a card, you have to attack this.
Now, are there ways to protect this?
Well, yeah, Arclight Sentinel right here. If you happen to have both of those out, you at least get this for 2 turns. Genesis, yeah.
Interesting.
I can't wait to explore how this is all going to work. But this card is notable.
You're going to get to on Thursday.
This card is notable. It's so good, man. Am I going to be playing Tunic with this? Why
Always
is
true.
that always the question, isn't it?
You ask the question, am I playing Flesh and Blood? And if the answer is yes, you put a tunic on the table.
Check out her specialization, Herald of Judgment.
All right. As I mentioned earlier, Shiana can roll with this. Go ahead.
2 cost yellow, 6/3. So this is not crazy. If it hits, put it into your hero's soul, and the defending hero can't play cards from their banished zone until the end of their next turn. Very specific effect. Not useful against a lot of things. And then Phantasm. So this is an example of a Phantasm that is very much a specific, I mean, a 2 for 6 attack is hardly lighting the world on fire.
Yeah. I mean, 2 for 6 is good.
Yeah, it's good.
But
and it goes to your soul afterwards,
Yeah.
which is better than good.
But it's particularly good against anyone that's putting stuff in their banish zone.
Yeah, Chain, Leviathan, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know how this goes. So it's kind of one of these light counters
Oh,
to the
also
shadow.
really good against Kano.
Right. Right.
How about you just don't do anything for a bit?
But isn't this the kind of thing where like you play this and then Kano does all of it anyway and then it hits?
But when does it go away?
It's just an attack.
When does the effect stop?
Oh, the end of the turn. End of their next turn. So they do everything on your turn, then they don't do any banishing stuff on their turn, and then it's back to normal.
Yeah.
You know, it's classic Wizard. It's like, yeah, I've got a thing that's really good against Wizard, and they're like, well, I'll just pinata myself before it resolves. It's a tale as old as time, honestly. Herald of Triumph. Is this the guy? This isn't the guy that did all those Angelarium things, is it? No, it's not. A different artist. Herald of Triumph, 2-cost red. Look at it. Have you seen this art?
He looks awesome.
She,
They?
divine angel thing looks. So it says attack 2/7/3. Attack action cards have -1 while defending.
Ooh, so now you need a 7.
So now you gotta have a 7.
This card, this is the heat.
And all these heralds seem to be, if they hit, you put them into your soul.
Are there a bunch of heralds?
Yeah, there's 7 of them.
This reminds me of Stormlight Archives.
Really?
Specifically, yeah. There's heralds.
Don't spoil it in general chat.
They'll
They'll come for you.
vultures.
Pitchforks.
They're ready to.
They'll say, we need a TV movie channel. And I'll say, you know what? For some reason, this is the hill that I'm choosing to die on. This one. For no reason.
This isn't a multimedia Discord channel.
But anyway, Herald of Triumph, and it comes in 3 colors.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's a 2/3/7. See, this is not super strong. It's very good.
I mean, a 7 damage attack that can block for 3. Interesting.
So 3/7/3 is like your standard generic template for this.
So 2 for 7 is good, but it can be blocked by big attacks. But it's -1.
And it puts into the soul at the end.
That's a right in line.
It's the math works, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, once you work that equation out, the game basically designs itself.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Good job on the equation.
Now we've got these 3 cards, and we saw some foil versions of these spoiled on the internet somewhere. And they look so good, it drives me insane.
Oh, they were what's his name? Saint.
It's that
From
old,
Fabled Hunters.
it's that old school medieval. It's pre-Renaissance.
It's
tarot. It kind of has that tarot vibe from Arkham
Yeah. But in cold foil, this thing is. Have you seen the cold foil list? The promo?
because it's all just geometry.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm telling you, math. It all comes back to math.
4-cost yellow. Attack action cards controlled by an opposing hero have -1 while attacking and defending. Now keep that in mind while attacking and defending. And then it's a specter, so you can destroy it. So imagine Illusionist. Imagine this. Picture this. You put up like 2 auras, and then you've got this awesome hand, and you're like, why? I'll just attack the main Illusionist rather than the auras. And then it's like, okay, well, I took some damage, but then it's like 2 more auras. And then you're like, oh no, like, all my stuff's -1, and now I've got to attack this thing over here, and then they can attack me for 4 with all these auras, and so it's going to be fun.
I also just picture you attack me, right? And then, or let's say
You want to test that out right now,
I
buddy?
attack you, and then
Try it.
Then this is an instant, so you play this, so that attack has -1. Plus, this thing's out that if I want to deal with it, I need to attack it.
Yeah.
So where Guardian and Brute
right.
are really good against blocking Illusionists, they're bad at attacking it.
Huh.
Because I need to be able to attack lots of things with go, like, I want to be able to go again against this and this and this. So
But
like,
you can't go again because it cancels the attack with Spectre. We just covered that in the
that's
chat.
not that one card. That's every card that does this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, attack does not resolve. So anytime you attack an illusion, it does not resolve. It just disappears.
This is the
It's the action point meta.
this is the closest I hope this game gets to build a board.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with a lot of these illusions,
The parable of humility.
you could get to a point where you have enough stuff out that works. It's almost like stealth credits, where it's like I have a -1 I have to remember while this is out,
Yeah.
and then I have this thing I have to remember while this is out.
I got an easy solution for you. Trash the assets. You don't have to remember anything if you trash them. That's what I
Yes.
always said in Netrunner.
That's true, but like
But then you got that weird meat grinder deck that has like 20,000 assets
if
out. And you're like, I'm not playing
if you can
Netrunner.
put these things out faster than I can reasonably keep them off the board,
Yeah.
they're going to be game states that could be tough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't played it, so I don't have experience with this, but
Yeah, I'm not worried.
it would make me. It's the first time that you can get a lot of stuff in play in a different kind of way.
Yeah. Is that true? Maybe it is. Any other classes
Like,
do
we got
stuff like that?
potions. Guardian has auras, but all theirs pop at the first and next round.
I feel like there was something that that did a lot.
Mech.
Yeah, Guardian has a lot of Mech.
Mech is a builder.
Mech's got 17 items out. You gotta keep track of that nonsense.
But like, I feel like their items do something that's just like these like static effects make me nervous.
Here's what I'll say.
I'm not concerned about it. I'm just saying, you gotta watch out.
If I can play 3 to 4 4-cost auras and not get punished for it because you're taking none damage and you're not attacking them, I just think that's on you.
But like, if you picture Brute, right? You rarely attack more than once in a round.
Maybe.
So like, if you can get more than one out.
Well, but like, so if you're not blocking, for instance, these have no defense values. So Brute's strategy is play 16 auras, you're dead by the 8th. Because you just took 16 every turn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We got to play. I guess all of this comes down to
we
have to play the game. Yeah,
yes,
we must.
for everyone's.
And we'll do it
sake.
for everybody out there.
Yeah, see you Thursday.
4-cost Merciful Retribution is the next in the series of beautiful aura cards. Also has Spectra.
Not having all these in cold foil is going to be a problem.
You will have them all.
Well, I hope so. They're promos. Who knows how those are going to go out?
Whenever these are promos?
Well, you don't see cold foil rares floating around, do you?
In first edition, you do.
What are the rare?
Don't they do everything in cold foil in
All the
first
equipment
edition?
and all the legendaries.
They don't do the rares?
Mm-mm.
Are you kidding me?
Have you ever seen a Showtime cold foil?
No, I haven't.
Or like, what's your rare defense
I just thought you
reaction?
weren't collecting hard enough.
No, it's just the equipment, the legendaries, and the fableds are in cold foil
Okay.
and promos.
All right.
So
So we
ones
need
we've seen
them.
of this have a little green logo with the P on it for promo.
So then we definitely need those.
We need lots of them.
Would you be willing to fly to New Zealand if that's what it takes?
Absolutely.
Okay. Company trip?
I think that makes sense. The number of flights I'm going to take to try to win a gold tunic, assuming they're available in the United States, is going to be unfortunate. Hopefully just one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just one and done. Whenever an aura or attack action card you control is destroyed, so that's when your phantasms are destroyed or when your spectra auras are destroyed, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. If it's a non-token light card, put it into your hero's soul.
Wait, what kind of card is this?
This is another one of those auras. And what it basically says is, if they destroy any of your phantasms or your spectra cards, they take an arcane damage. And then if that card that they destroyed is like whatever it is, it will just go right to your soul.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they set up a big, I have a lot of actions to clear your aura's turn, and then you're like,
Hey, it takes some damage, and then it's just a little punish. It's
presumably they want to
retribution.
get that thing first. So it's gone.
That's right. Yeah, there's an order. You got to watch out. Are we playing against Jinteki here? We gotta keep our eyes open. 4-cost Ode to Wrath is the third in the series of cards that you're flying to New Zealand to get. Also Spectra.
Looks great, man.
Whenever a source you control deals damage to an opposing hero, they lose 1 life. Any of your auras do damage. Any of your attacks do damage.
How much does that cost?
Cost 4.
Okay, now it costs 4. That's
Yeah.
good.
That sounds like a tunic build to me.
Yeah. But I like you let's say you pay 3, swing with an aura for 4 using your orb. Right? And I'm like, I'm not gonna block.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'll pay 4, put this down.
Yeah.
You're gonna take extra damage.
You take 1 extra. Yeah. It's like
How
a
about
searing
that?
shot all of a sudden. And everybody knows that's the most terrifying card in the game.
So you're gonna play a lot of blues with this yellow curve.
It has another feature here that we haven't got
Oh, there's
to.
more.
Illusionist attack action cards you control have go again. Which is basically all your phantasms.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
So
that one earlier that you liked and you were like, hey, give it go again. This is just right in there.
yeah. So it's like you attack with a phantasm, they opt to not block. You throw in Ode to Wrath all of a sudden, they can attack again. They have an aura that can attack out, and they lose an extra life.
And that aura the aura attack has go again too.
That's
so
right.
Who knows?
So you could keep going. So in an illusionist world where you have 20,000 resources, you can string together some really important turns. But as we all know,
I love this art. Everything about this, I love.
can you imagine? So you have to foil the entire deck, right? Whatever it takes. However many boxes you need to buy so that this deck that I'm playing is all foil. I think you should.
I see.
I really do.
You know, we're planning on selling singles. You can just buy the cherry-picked Illusionist singles. Top tier
I'm just
pro.
what's in it for me though?
A foil illusionist deck. Can you imagine you show up to a tournament with an all foil illusionist deck?
Yeah.
Did you even really see it? Was it
Yeah.
there?
Was it even there? Did he go to the bathroom or was he never here to begin with? Herald of Protection is a 2-cost red. Look at this card. How do you not love this game immediately?
Also, that on a playmat would look real nice.
If Herald of Protection hits, put it into your soul and create a Spectral Shield token. Phantasm, 2 for 7.
So if it hits, put it into your soul and what?
Create a Spectral Shield token, which usually costs you 2 money plus
Great value.
banish.
You better have a 6 damage attack to block this with.
Yeah, you better.
Like just immediately.
I really wonder how often Prism is going to be paying for the ability to make Spectral Shields versus getting them through effects and otherwise. Not
I
even needing
imagine
them.
it's somewhat like the Grasp of the Arknight. Cost 2
Get you
for
started.
an enchant when you're at 0. So when you really need it and you don't have an aura, it's there, but like you're not using it most of the time.
Yeah, definitely. And good points being made here, right? So like think about how all the cards you're wanting to play, like this is pitching for 1. All those sweet yellow cards are pitching for 2, and they all cost 4 to 6. It's like, well, good luck.
You got to bring the blues, man.
Bring the blues and bring the potions. Herald of Ravages is next. This is just keep it coming. Red, 2 cost. If it hits, put it into your soul because it's a herald. Deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. It's got Phantasm, 7 attack too. So you're probably thinking to yourself, I probably don't run Arcane Barrier against Illusionist, but maybe I do.
Hopefully you have Arcane Barrier on one of your pieces.
One of your like
signature
class pieces, yeah.
Like the Crown of Dichotomy for Runeblade as an example.
Yeah.
That said, are there any good ways for Illusionist to get the attack out of your opponent's hand?
Like to look at it and pick?
There's that one neutral card.
Frontline Scout looks at their hand.
So you would know.
So you would at least
Because
be
I feel
like,
like playing auras and swinging with the 4 damage go-again attacks when they have the thing to block with.
yeah.
And then having a certain number of these heralds that when you know they don't have it,
You go big.
you just start
Yeah.
slamming. I still think one of the greatest threats of these Phantasm attacks is their existence. So like if you have 2 cards left in hand and you're swinging with like the orb for 4 on an aura, it's so hard to make the decision to block at that point.
Yeah, it's true. I love it. Yeah, it's illusions, you know? Yeah, right. Wait, is this real light? Is that noise coming from over there? Is that noise in my head? You know, is that door real?
The noise is in your head. How you're hearing it.
Been there before, man. Herald of Rebirth.
That was what our 20s was for.
2 cost, red.
That's a beautiful card, man.
If it hits, put it in here. It's a 2/7/3, so we're seeing the template. A red Phantasm is going to be a 2/7/3 with an effect. They're all going to go into your soul if they hit, but these all have different effects, and this one is put up to 1 card with Phantasm from your graveyard on top of your deck. Recycle. It's
Nice.
Rebirth. Herald of Rebirth.
That's great. Yeah. Thematic, beautiful, awesome. So what was the name
Will
of the
it
one
matter, though?
that gives it -1? Was that an attack? It was, right?
The -1 at Parable of Humility.
Is that an attack?
Attack action cards have -1. No, it was not an attack. Huh? There was one, though, the Herald of Triumph, that gives it -1.
That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
Because then now you have to have 7s, which no one has except for like Guardian.
Man, 3 for 7. I'm telling you, it's the 3x. What's that? What's the reckless?
Ravaging Rabble.
It's like a ravaging. It's a 3 for 7.
Yeah,
It's got the
bull
guy.
on
He's
it.
like got the wounded bull is a 7. You also got the guy with the helmet, and he's like, that's essentially what it is.
Stomp. Stomp.
No, somebody tell me what.
Pummel. Nope.
It's not wrecker romp or anything. It's not. It's like ravaging, wrecking. I forget what it is.
Ravenous Rabble. Just kidding. I know
It's not
it.
that. Yeah.
Reckless Swing.
No, not it at all. Not it at all.
Oh, you know what? Alex might have a point. Do you think the reason they banned Drone is because of Illusionist?
If that's true, then they weren't planning ahead. Which may be true. Maybe true. Maybe, yeah, because you could just block it and it comes back and block
All
it
the
and come
time.
back.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah. So it caused a particular problem for that class.
Raging Onslaught.
That's right.
I told you it was
Onslaught.
Raging Onslaught from the beginning.
Herald of Tenacity is another beautiful card here. Red 2 It's a 2/6/3, so the hit ability should be better. Oh, what did they do? They gave it Dominate. It's like building a character in a role-playing game. You take your
you
disadvantage.
get so many points. Yeah, there you go. Can't have all 20s. That's not fair.
It's Dominate, put it into your soul. This is your bread and butter, likely to hit attack. However, Dominate on Phantasm, not as good. Because if they have the one card anyway, they're going to play it no matter whether it's Dominate or not.
Yeah.
You know?
But the Dominate on a card that goes into your soul, if you need cards to charge your soul, is still good. Like, you get damage, and you just play this when you absolutely need something to go in the soul. I saw in the Flesh and Blood channel on YouTube posted that gameplay video.
Yeah.
And the number of times they block way more than we do.
Yeah, I've heard that. Americans are, it's like so
They
stereotypical.
block way more than we do.
Yeah,
but it'd be like
YOLOing over
it would be
here.
a single, 2 for 7 or 2 for 6, and it's like block with 3 cards.
No hit effect.
And it's like the hit effect is to put it in the soul, and it was just they were not allowing it to happen. I was like, 3 cards for 1 though is a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
Well, like I said, probably just awful at the game. 1 cost Wartune Herald Red, a 1/7/3. If it hits, put it into your soul. Phantasm.
What?
So this is the cheapest attack. It has no hit effect aside from just putting it into your soul.
So I really like. I don't know. I'm interested in playing Illusionist. I'm not as interested as you are. I can tell just from
That's good.
your lifelong pursuit of this.
Of illusions. Like the illusion right now that we're entertaining.
We're doing a good job of illusion in that. I agree.
I don't know. Some people have 6 attack out there.
Maybe a bad job.
They've already thumbs it down.
Anyways, I like all of these attacks that are like the more aggressive ones.
Really?
Which makes sense. So I'm curious what kind of illusionist you build, because that will determine whether I am interested in building illusionist or not.
Okay. You could do like the angry illusionist.
Angry illusionist.
And I'll be the like
I'm
peaceful.
hopeful we get like a shadow illusionist, because that would be a good time. Shadow versus light illusionist. I'd sign up for that.
That would be super fun. It'd be like an old wizard battle from like the Disney movies, like Fantasia and stuff. Let's go to the card reveals. That's all the illusionist stuff that we've seen.
Okay.
Well, I won't say that necessarily, but it's the stuff that's numbered from like light illusion.
All right. You want to cover chat while I'm on this, so I can zoom in?
Let me get with you guys.
So there are other cards that hit. I'm gonna skip around a little bit since we streamed last time. The first one is Spill Blood.
This card is so good.
One, it's amazing looking. That giant axe and what's the Roman like headpiece called? You know?
Yeah, the plume thing.
There's a word for it.
Yeah, there is. I know. I got my D&D facts wrong last time, so I'm a little squeamish.
Anyways, it's a red. It's one cost. Axes you control gain +2 and dominate until the end of turn. Go again. Blocks for 3. It's a majestic. So this is obviously working with those 2 axes we saw.
Yeah.
Axe of Mind, right?
Hatchet of Body, Hatchet of Mind.
There it is. This is a great card. +2 across 2 weapons, and they both get dominate. Just butter.
And remember with Bolton, because they now have +2, they can go again. Axes are awesome.
Speaking of Bolton,
axes are awesome.
Let's look at his weapon, which is Raiden Duskbane.
Yeah, cool. Are you hip to the Dusk versus Dawn thing that's happening?
Dawn Blade.
Yeah, the Dawn Blade, and this is Duskbane.
Well, the whole Solana thing is about light.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they're obsessed with the sun and dawn and dusk and.
So you're either promoting dawn or you're killing dusk. That's essentially the
Duskbane. That's smart.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
And then they have there's the Nature's Path Pilgrimage, and then they just did the Dusk Path Pilgrimage, I believe, as well.
Really?
Yeah. So like there's some real story going on here. What's that thing do?
0 attack, once per turn action 0, so no resources attack. If you've charged this turn, which is mean you added a card to your soul, Raiden gets +3 attack. So it's a free attack.
Yeah.
It does not have go again.
Yeah.
But it's a free 3 damage attack, assuming you've charged this round.
I absolutely adore it.
It's a great way to just kind of finish off a turn. Here's the Dusk Path Pilgrimage.
Does Raiden give his +1 if they defend with an attack action card to
Bolton?
all attacks? Yeah. Bolton?
Yeah, I think it's all attacks.
Okay, so there you go. And there's your 4, and that's the magic number in the game.
Yeah, a free 4 damage attack at the end of every turn is pretty good if you're making that happen.
Gallia is the Roman helmet. Or the Gallia.
Gallia?
Gallia? I don't know. Let's think about Roman things. How would you pronounce Roman things? Gallia.
Can't even get your Italian accent while we're here.
I don't have an Italian accent. I'm sure it would be very destructive if I tried. Clip it out.
Get it out of here. Yeah. Dusk Path Pilgrimage red, 1 cost. Your next weapon attack this turn gains +3, and if this hits, you may attack an additional time with that weapon this turn. Go again. So it doesn't give go again, but it does allow you to attack with the same weapon more than once in a turn, assuming it's a once per turn situation.
That's right. You know what's interesting about this too? You think about Dorinthia, as all warriors should. So Dorinthia's once per turn is if something hits, you get to attack a second time with the Dawn Blade. So this is a way to actually be able to attack with it a third time if you use this on your second Dawn Blade attack, which is interesting. So you'd have to give your second attack both go again and this, and it would have to hit, and then your third thing, it's like a twinning blade kind of effect. So it's interesting, but it's just not, that's a lot to string together.
I assume it's way better for heroes than our Dorinthia.
Yeah.
So she's already got it built in, go twice with the weapon.
Goodness.
Yeah, and so this is going to be good on any of the other warriors.
Well, how about the Raiden sword that we just looked at?
Absolutely.
Swing for 3.
But you have to be able to give it go again or get multiple actions.
Yeah. And because your next weapon attack is +3, if you've charged, then you can give it go again with Bolton's ability, right?
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting to string those pieces
Some
together.
real play going on here.
Next, we get Brandish. 1 cost, generic attack action, 3 damage, 2 defense. Seen a lot of 2 defense this set.
Yeah.
A
Tons.
lot. Draft and Sealed is going to be aggressive.
Yeah.
For that reason. If Brandish hits, your next weapon attack this turn gains +1, and it has go again. So it's a 1 for 3 with go again, and if it hits, your next weapon's +1.
It looks like it has a ninja on it, doesn't it?
It does look like it has a ninja.
Is this a ninja card?
This is also great for like Raiden, right?
Yeah.
Assuming he can charge. The reality is that it's a 3. If you do block it, fine. They're down a card. If they don't block it, now Raiden is also +1, and is a free. You already, this has go again. So that's a good generic.
This is the kind of gameplay I'm looking for in Flesh and Blood. As a defender, I've got to be like, okay.
Is it worth giving +1 later? It's not the same as you always play that attack, that arrow that does damage, and then if it hits, it does an extra damage.
Yeah, searing shot.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But different.
Kind of like that, but different because it also turns on Bolton's ability.
Yeah, that's right. And that's a great looking piece of art.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's all beautiful, man. They absolutely have done it.
Let me go get my soapbox.
All right, hold on a second. Well, I need to charge up. Let me get a drink here.
Yeah.
We're looking at Valiant Dynamo here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a second. Valiant Dynamo. We're gonna pull it up. I'm gonna go get my soapbox. I'm just gonna go refill my water.
Well, if you had 48 ounces of it, you wouldn't need to refill on stream.
I get it.
This is the.
It's really just an excuse to get out of the room.
Can somebody please put some pressure on Zach to get a proper solution for a beverage? Would you guys be willing to do that? Get in the Discord, tag him. Zach, why is your vessel of liquid exposed and open? You have cards that are apparently worth a lot of money. Why would you risk it? It doesn't make it. He's a very risk-averse person normally. It's just why this? I don't get it. So, long story short, this card is devastatingly good.
All right. I don't know what you said when I was.
I'm gonna be the counterweight to whatever it is you're about to bring.
Well, it might surprise you.
Because I do think that this is one of the best cards we've seen in Flesh and Blood so far.
So, here's what I was going to say about this. When I first saw this card, I thought to myself, this card is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is basically a free armor every round.
Now, real quick, before you even go further than that, have you just remember that Perch Grapplers do exist. And I would say it's competitive in that slot. You block for 2 once, and that's the end of it, which is comparable to blocking 1 19 times in a game.
Yes. So when we've measured, I think most games are like 10 to 15 turns.
Okay.
Which is actually context that's really good to have in general for the evaluation of anything.
Yeah.
15 turns is not that many.
It's about 15.
But just like a number of times you get to attack, how much damage you need to be doing every round in order to actually win a game, that kind of stuff.
It's about 4 damage a turn. Again, the magic number.
That's right.
In the game.
But Warrior, naturally, pretty much every Warrior ID I've ever seen is going to be wanting to do what this requires you to do to get an armor every round.
Yeah.
Like swinging twice with a weapon.
Even Dorinthia, who it should be difficult for, is swinging twice with a weapon almost every turn.
You don't have to hit.
Right.
So like most of the time, she's swinging twice a turn. someone like Kasei or Cassie, I don't know how to say it, with the 2 Centauri sabers, it's like
Yeah, she's swinging.
it's built. Even the axes are built to swing twice with the weapons.
Right.
So it's not like it is like this awesome ability that makes you play in kind of a very different or like maybe even suboptimal way, right? Get it? But I thought about it.
Okay.
When I first saw it, I was just like, this is ridiculous. Why does a warrior of all, I picture playing against Dorinthia right now, and it's like, oh, you're going to get an extra 10 to 15 health on top of what you're already a
She needs it though.
kitchen refrigerator.
Yeah, everyone calls it the fridge.
As opposed to the garage refrigerator version.
But I
That's just specify the location of that fridge.
But I will say, Dorinthia was a little under the curve coming into Monarch.
Yeah, she did need the help. Yeah.
So I just think it's important.
Here's actually the thing. I actually mathematically started thinking about this. Okay.
Okay.
So even against Dorinthia, and I know that I always get to play as and against the peak Dorinthia players. Just kidding. I don't think either of us are warrior specialists at this point. But let's say that 80% of the time you swing twice with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
The other times you don't.
Okay.
I think that's pretty fair.
That's totally fair.
All right. So let's even say there are 15 turns in a game. So you should get 11 or 12 uses out of this, assuming your opponent's attacking.
Okay.
So it's probably worth 11 or 12 health.
Yeah. Like most equipment.
However, this fundamentally changes the defense value structure of your deck and the damage curve of your opponent. The reason I say that is like, how many times do you block right on? Like if I'm swinging for 6, then you have 2 3s in your hand. This is actually worth none.
Yeah.
So even if we just say,
okay, I like our brains.
20% of the time, you would overblock with this thing, right? Okay. Or you're going to take some damage because you can use this and not use a card from hand.
Okay.
So now we're down to 60% of the time it gets you an extra health, right? Which is still 9 health in a 15-turn game.
You're doing a great job of trying to make me think that this is not the greatest card ever printed.
But here's the thing. So 9 health, right? Then you made a point that I actually want to illustrate. And I was so hot on this, like against this card when I first saw it. But as an example, with Dorinthia, you're giving up refraction bolters for real.
Yeah, that's true. That's a real point.
And that's a 1 armor piece, right?
That's a real point. Yeah, somehow it has 1 armor.
So you get to use that 1 armor, which means the difference between these 2 cards is that this is 8 extra armor ahead.
Does it have 1 armor refraction?
I think it's 1, yeah. You use it and then you pop it. So it's 8 extra health. But here's the reality. In our Dorinthia games, the turn you use the bolters to get going in is actually usually pretty significant.
Yeah, it has it. Yeah, it has.
Because you get to go again without playing the card to get yourself going in. The reason I mention all this is actually, what is the value? I'm serious. What is the value of having...
This is the best thing I've ever seen, man.
Of having, I told you, it's surprised you, of having go again built in with Dorinthia. Actually,
the whole game you have to worry, is this the moment they...
Well, and I know that it's on a hit.
Yeah.
So how many more cards does your opponent block with? Because they don't want to give you free go again.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And or how much extra damage do you do on the turn that you get a free go again?
I'd say 4 to 6 in a token.
And if you get a token, now what's the actual value? But let's just say it's 4 damage. And no token is what that go again's worth, right?
Yeah.
So now the disparity between the 2 pieces is literally 4 or 5 damage. So it is still fantastic. I'm not making the case, right, that it's not fantastic. But also, this is the same rarity as Spring Tunic.
Yeah, true.
So like,
but we don't all get to run it.
No, we don't.
But if we did, some classes would like it a lot, like Ninja with us.
But as an example, would Wizard drop their boots, their legendary boots, for this card?
No, because they can't attack twice with the weapon.
Even if it was just like every turn you got this.
Yes. I mean, I
don't know they would.
I would 100%. So
the Wizard, like, turn any card into an instant is actually so critical to their game plan. Like, when I'm looking at, like, Guardian or Runeblade, yes, I would rather have these boots.
Again, Purge Grapplers, probably not. But
as an example, if I were playing Runeblade and I could choose these boots or Grasp of the Arknight, I choose Grasp of the Arknight. So the reason I mention all that, of course, they still have Courage of Blade Hold and they still have Bracers of Belief. And what's your helmet piece?
Or the Brave Forge bracers there.
Yeah, Braid Forge.
Helmet's Arc Knight. The skull Arc Knight
Skull cap.
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to say, this is a legendary piece of equipment that is class specific. It needs to be as good as other legendary class specific equipments, comparatively, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like when I think about Grasp of Arc Knight, if I had the choice to play either this or Grasp on Viscera, assuming the condition wasn't 2 weapon swings, which one would I play? It's interesting. So I'm not saying this isn't one of the best cards of the game, because it is. But I am saying that like the gap on how good it is, when I actually paused and just like reflected, was not as big as I once thought it was.
Okay. I think that's a pretty, I mean, if you're going to make a thesis, trying to make this a good, but not incredibly good piece of equipment, that's the best way to make it. Definitely it. We made it. We got there. Now,
I want to know what chat thinks. They think this card's busted?
No, it's not busted. No, nobody. You can't. Nothing's busted until you play it a bunch.
Is this the argument you expected to hear?
No. But so let's address some of the points. There. So a lot of this game, as we've talked about, revolves around 4 damage attacks, right? Hit effects, particularly Snatch, these kinds of early game cards that were pretty meta-defining. Ninja, completely defined by those 3 and 4 damage attacks, Mask of Momentum, etc. Kodachis, I mean, you block the second one for free every turn. That's like the end of Ninja again in this matchup. Maybe that's a little apocalyptic, but so all your 4 damage attacks that are traditionally very good value that you can rely on to do things, whether they get 2 cards out of hand or 1 card out of hand and then you get to the hit effect, are no longer valid against this. So every turn, it's a 3 from hand and a 1 block, and your 4 damage attacks are completely covered up. So that changes everything in this kind of a matchup. The second point is like, in the instance where Warrior is either blocking the 6 with 2 cards or blocking with the boots and 1 card, they just saved a card that they're not going to wreck you with. Like, so that's a card they didn't have to spend on defense. They take 2 damage, of course, but they would have taken 0. But will a card in return do more than 2 damage or 2 damage worth of value? Probably.
But if that's the case, wouldn't it have made sense to take 3 and then have the card anyway?
Yeah. But now they're only taking
situation?
2 for the same problem. So like over the course of the game, that trade is fundamentally in your favor because you're taking 1 less damage every time you need to save up for a bigger turn, right? So that's a big deal. And it blocks for 1 every turn. Did we cover that?
Every turn that
we did cover that,
you
right?
can swing with a weapon twice.
So 80 to 90%.
I'm curious what that actually is, because like in Dorinthia, there's only so many go-agains you have, especially because a lot of your go-again is conditional on hitting.
Yeah.
The first attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought that. But as it turns out, it's incredibly easy. You have 9 copies of Hit and Run if you want it. You have 9 copies of Spoil, or at least 3 copies of Spoils of War. You've got Nature, or the Warrior's Path, what have yous, that if it hits,
Pilgrimage.
that's the hit one that's conditional. Then you have these Twinning Blade spin-offs where even if it doesn't hit, you can technically attack again.
We still have to go again.
Yeah, the surprise go again. Right?
As long as you get go again, you can swing with a weapon twice and get the armor back.
Now, is it possible that Warrior will never get more go again, so that this isn't just so easy to do?
Yeah. I mean, if you already have enough cards to make it somewhat easy to do, but that's where like I was estimating. I think 89% of the time you can swing twice with a weapon as Warrior, which I think is the fair percentage. Because there are turns where you can't.
Yeah, definitely.
And then if you have a token, you're just trying to hit once so that you can keep the token on the hit effect.
And the weird thing is with these boots, it's more likely that you can hit a go again more often because you can hold more cards and take less damage. So it just gets, it gets interesting. Would it have been, if they both hit, you get the token, it makes more sense to me. I don't know, something that your opponent can do something about.
Do you think this is the best equipment?
It's hard for me not to say. I mean, I don't play every class, so I don't know how critical the Skeleta or I'm used to playing with equipment that literally may as well be blank on Ranger. So like, it's hard for me to make that evaluation.
Yeah.
But
isn't it crazy that like to think about this boot compared to any of your Ranger armor pieces?
Yes.
Just strictly?
Don't make me. But I think the key thing here is that it's an easily, immediately appreciable by every Flesh and Blood player how good this is, because you don't need to know the intricacies of anything to know that blocking an extra damage most turns is like groundbreakingly good.
It's not even, it's just so generically good. Like, it's so straightforward. Unlike, as an example, like, what's the value in a game of Grasp of the Arcanite? Right?
Yeah,
So you get 2 block, or 3 technically, a 2 and a 1. And then it's like, if you generate, that's kind of what the math I started doing, where it's like, I mean, I probably generate at least 5 or 6 rune chants off that. And if on a Mordred Tide turn, I start with 0, I pay 2, get 2. It's like, okay, let's say I generate 6. That's 6 damage that I get to do. And more importantly, those are resources for me too.
Yeah.
And so like that might get me 6 resources, 6 damage. And like how much I think about, okay, now that helped me get a free Arcanite Ascendancy, which then gets me more, like the cascade effect of that armor piece for me is actually, like when I first saw Grass Giant, I was like, that seems fine. But once you start, it's the hidden, like the underground impact and the synergy that's happening there. The only thing, this is just health.
Well, again, it comes back to there are a lot of pieces of equipment that are very conditionally motivating. Like based on the build and the moment and the cards and the matchup, they can be absolute all-stars. But there is not a single moment where this card is not unconditionally good. And I think that's the key thing about it, is it's not brokenly, I wouldn't go out on a limb and say that it's like brokenly good or as good as X, Y, or Z, but I would say that it's never going to do less than a lot every single game.
Yeah. Now, there are obviously matchups where it's not the boot you'd probably pick, actually.
Like maybe Wizard?
They don't attack, right?
Is that the only
even
one?
Even Runeblade, that is like I'm swinging 3 or 4 times a game.
Yeah, because you want to stay on top of the tempo there.
Yeah. Well, and it's like even just the decks, like even more mid-range, it's like I'm swinging 6 times a game.
Yeah.
8 times.
Isn't it disgusting, though, that you get to choose between these and the bolters?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, if you flip Ninja against me and I just get to throw in the Dynamo, that's super good. That's crazy hard for Ninja. I don't know what they're going to do about that. Like Ninja players. I honestly have no idea. I think it was a difficult matchup anyway. And this is just going to make it so hard. But maybe they'll get tools. That's why we play. It's a metagame. It's always evolving.
Yeah, if we're getting this, I mean, especially again, when you compare it to like the Ranger equipment, which is the other end of the spectrum here. And I know Warrior, a big part of Warrior's, class identity, in my opinion,
Fundies, right?
is their armor.
Yeah.
Like that is something they're going to probably be the best at generically. Armor for damage's sake, right?
Yeah. They're just playing the most fundamental game of Flesh and Blood. They're playing numbers.
Yeah.
We're better at numbers than you.
We are the spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm curious what this means for, because especially if you've been playing against Labyrinthia and it's frustrating, seeing this is not going to be motivating.
Mm-hmm. It kind of motivates me. Could be like, oh yeah, make it as good as possible.
Yeah, and I just want to crush it. But that's where I'm excited by. I'm assuming we're going to continue getting things on this level, not even just armor, for everything.
But what if everyone's like, power creep? Is this power creep?
Well, I think there are games where you play bolters over this.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Definitely, yeah, that is good.
Like
it's not strictly better.
Right. It is really good, though.
Okay. It's really good.
All right.
Well, anyway, so that's going to be a notable card. Keep your eye on it. And I can't wait to see how the metagame develops.
Also, it's going to look amazing cold flow. I'll put that out there.
The thing that I love the most about that card is it's still just playing the most basic game of Flesh and Blood that you can play.
It's literally a 1 block around. Now, it's not that crazy.
I do think if you pull this and seal their draft, you win. No, that's not true, because you got to swing with both weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and seal and draft is not...
Actually, less good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It needs a lot of support.
Isn't it? Next, we get Out Muscle.
Maybe they know what they're doing.
3 cost red attack, 6 damage, 2 defense. Back to 2 defense.
Hey, look, a 6 damage attack.
While Out Muscle isn't defended by a card with equal or greater attack, it has Go Again.
We're playing with attack values on defending cards. Isn't this the state of the set?
I love it. I love it. You can just see it. I swear. It's like when you're reading a book. Like when I was a kid, you read a book and you're just enjoying the adventure. But now as an adult, I'm reading a book and it's like, ooh, that's foreshadowing. What's
Yeah.
that gonna mean? And
You know
start
that
seeing
there's
the dots.
skill involved. They know what they're doing. Yeah.
And you just see this card and you're like, they knew where they were going when they started writing this book, and it makes me super pumped. Which is why cards like that, those boots, make me less concerned than I think it would be in a lot of games.
Yeah.
Because like it's not a surprise card. They've had that card designed for years probably.
The boat so far is sailing smoothly when it comes to the design and the power level of things. We haven't seen like a super degenerate deck that just sits at the top for a long time and sucks to play against, honestly.
Yeah.
Because even against Dorinthi, you feel like you have a chance. And you do. I mean, you always have a chance against it. It was strong, but I don't think it was solved. I don't think we had enough time to beat Dorinthi, but I think the card pool could have done it.
I agree with you. I'll also say that Warrior is going to have a hard time blocking the Phantasm attacks.
That's right.
So like, Illusionist is going to be popular because it's really cool.
Yeah.
And like, I like that Ninja and Warrior are not good against it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
Like,
with it.
Immediately. We're getting a little scissors, paper, rock situation here. That is terrifying. No, I don't want to update in the middle of using my computer.
Dude, yes, update.
All right, it didn't. Luckily, they asked now. They used to just not even care.
Start doing it.
All right,
yeah.
well, hold on. I got to get past all these Illusionist cards and make sure I'm not missing.
Well, there are some that we have missed, so I'll scroll up and I'll show them to you.
What about this?
Get up. No, get up there. We can't.
Get
Can we
up.
get into the Yanti moment yet? So things that are notable is the Prismatic Shield.
Did we not cover that?
We covered Spectral Shield, but not Prismatic.
It's a 3-cost red instant. Create 3 shield tokens.
Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
Create 3 Spectral Shield tokens? Are you crazy?
So you create 3 and then you can swing with some of them.
Yeah.
Let's just party.
Now, of course, if you take like 3 damage next turn, they all blow up. So it's not a big deal.
It looks awesome. Are we popping that? Yeah, there it is.
We've also got Phantasmaclasm.
Just a hilarious everything about it. So
This card is the bananas.
the name, all these like illusion creatures coming down and terrifying these people.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's
I
awesome.
want that on my wall.
Yeah, that is a cool play mat.
Oh, look, it was like a hidden card there. We might not have that one.
Is it an illusion?
Oh my gosh. It's like that one time.
I'll read it to you. It's a 3 for 9.
Yeah, enough said.
Majestic, 3 defense, out of here. Look at the defending hero's hand and choose a card. They put it on the bottom of their deck, then draw a card. That's devastating. You gotta block it with a 6, and they're gonna nuke one of them. You
Is
better
that a
be ready.
Majestic?
Yeah, it's a Majestic. Get your unlimited subs, ratchet it up. You're gonna need this.
Ding, 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 ding. That's so good, right?
Yeah,
That's the card. That's the
that's
card.
Wildcats. All right, what about this? Blinding Beam.
Check out Blinding Beam, man.
I'm gonna slide. I know you wanted me to slide, but I gotta get closer to read these.
Yeah, it's fine. You're just a little out of the shot. I'm trying to get better at being right
1
here.
cost red, instant, light instant, beautiful card.
I'm in the shot.
It's like Gandalf over there. Blinding Beam costs 1 less to play if it targets a shadow card, so it's free against shadow player.
Yeah.
Target attacking or defending attack action gets -3. So if they block with a 6 and you give it -3.
Yeah. So they introduced a new window. I know
There
you're
wasn't
very
enough light in the room already.
Zach's very excited about the rules here. So it used to be that there were, here you imagine the phases of the thing, right? You declare the attack. We're still here.
My car's in the mechanic, and I thought I got a note. Anyways, yeah, I'm just
No,
waiting.
you didn't get a notice. That thing's
Been
in there for
Ubering
3
a lot.
weeks.
It's kind of not great in Tulsa.
So you would play an attack, and then there's the moment where all the windows are happening, and then the attacks.
I know about all these moments.
Starts the combat chain, and at that point you move on to the defending step, and that was a sacred step where you declare your defending cards, then you move immediately on to reactions, right? So now it's declare defending cards, instant window, then we move on to
So you
the
can play
reaction
an
step.
instant that does minus there.
Yeah.
Before it
Before it blows up the
phantasms
thing.
away. Yeah.
That's
Okay,
the
cool.
idea. So that's just, it's a way to basically say, it's basically their attack reaction, where you get -3, the phantasm hits, and you can get your hit effects.
But it
through.
doesn't affect their defense still.
No.
It just helps you not get.
Your
Dunked
phantasm.
on.
Yeah, so there's where your dominate, if you have a dominate phantasm, they can only block with 1. It's a 6 attack, you blinding beam it, it gets through.
And if they can play this after you no longer have a chance to add more cards in.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Ooh, I love this piece of equipment. Dreamweavers.
Isn't that beautiful? Dreamweaver.
Like how am I not gonna have to get all these in cold foil? It's
I
just
think
gotta
you are.
happen. Yeah.
I think you are. I'll play them. You collect them.
Action. Destroy Dreamweavers.
system.
The next Illusionist attack action card you play this turn loses and can't gain Phantasm. Go again.
One of your phantasms becomes real. Cannot be blocked by a 6 attack.
You're
to
weaving them
destroy it.
dreams. It's also got Spell Void 1.
You'll never use it for that.
It would.
Literally not once will you use this for spell
I mean,
void.
interestingly though, maybe, like, if you're playing against someone that doesn't have big attacks,
Yeah.
dropping the Phantasm piece doesn't really matter anymore.
No, that's true. If they've got no 6 attacks, that's reasonable.
Yeah, and if they're on like like
Like a Minnowism deck.
even against Visceray, it's like you only have so many 6 damage attacks, and you're not gonna like if you want to use Arcanite Ascendancy to block one of my 12 Phantasms.
Good point.
Great.
Very good point.
Otherwise, I'll cancel the damage.
Yeah.
Now,
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Love that card.
I do too. Enigma Chimera. Is that Chimera?
Yeah.
Is that how it's spelled?
That's what I would do, yeah.
2 for 8. The template is gone. Just a 2 for 8 that blocks for 3, and it's a Phantasm.
That's a great template. That's my favorite template.
Just basic.
2 for 8
It's got the
Phantasm, blocks
Creton.
for 3, yeah. That's good.
I do like Mystical Alliance. Phantasmify.
Oof.
Great art.
Look at this card.
It's an Illusionist action. 1 resource, 2 block. The next attack action card you play this turn is Illusionist in addition to its other class types and gains +5 attack and Phantasm.
Can you imagine?
Go again.
You can turn anything into illusion with +5 attack, but it's destroyed as a phantasm.
Yeah.
How about a Command and Conquer Phantasm
For 11.
for 11?
The heat is real.
Unbelievable.
I love this though. It's the basic 1 for 3 template, but it's actually +2, but you get a downside. Again, like I'm telling you, they were writing this book and they knew exactly where they were heading. It's beautiful.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Spears of
Look at that.
Surreality.
Probably
It's surreal,
I can't
itty.
read it, but it's probably
Surreality.
surreality, like something surreal.
It is surreal, itty.
Yeah.
Surreality.
It's like reality, but surreality.
1 cost, 5 damage, 3 block. Good math. Has go again. It also has Phantasm.
Yeah.
Beautiful card.
There's your go again Phantasm right there.
That's great. That's a great card. Looks great too. That templating is.
That's a tough one, man, because like you don't want to waste your 6 attack on it. Now wait a minute. If you blow it up with the Phantasm effect, does it not have go again? Just like how the thing doesn't resolve with the other thing. Where's Ryan when I need
It's
him?
defended by a non-illusionist attack action card with 6 or more. Destroy Spears of Surreality and close the combat chain.
I think it loses go again if you blow it up with the Phantasm.
I think so, too.
6 attack.
Yeah, I'm with it. What's chat say?
Correct. Ross says I'm correct. That's great. If the chain closes, no more attacks. The go again doesn't happen. It loses it. Doesn't resolve.
But still, it's like, do you want to spend your big attack on that?
No.
Probably not. But it does end the chain, so if they have something worse for you, then you know it's over.
What if they play that? You play your 6 attack. They instant the thing and then gives it -1. It still has go again, and they play another Phantasm worth 9.
Glorious. Whew. Yeah, wait for the Illusionist trick.
Bring me the game, man.
Yinti Yanti. The next one. This is cool. It's got the yin yang symbol going on. 0 cost, 3 damage attack, 2 block. While it is attacking and you control an aura, it has +1. While it is defending and you control an aura, it defends for +1. So if you have an aura, it's a 0 for 4 attack and also a 3 block.
Isn't that what Wounding Blow is? Isn't Wounding Blow 0/4 with 3 defense from Welcome to Wraith?
Yeah.
Just a generic attack? So this is that, but conditionally that. What's up with that?
Isn't it 0 for 3? For 3
No.
defense? 0 for 4.
Yeah. I had to look at all those because I was trying to make Ranger work, and I realized I had to get other cards that weren't Ranger cards in there.
Glorious. Yeah, it does seem like just a slightly less good version of that.
And it's just if you have an aura, it's not per aura.
It's if.
This is sealed and draft magic, isn't it? I would have to say.
Yeah, Steven's saying it's worse than Wounding Blow.
Yeah.
Strictly.
Yeah.
Unless you need a lot of cards to do that exact thing. Interesting. Unless there are cards later that are really good with 2 defense or 3 attack cards that you want to make use of. As an example, Minnowism,
Yeah, correct.
which
There
we'll
it
come
is.
back to in a second.
That's it. That's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed.
I don't even know what Minnowism does, but I know it's going to work.
Yeah, it's like
My brain connected the dots.
yeah, the strength of
Ooh.
small things.
Do we even have this? Take Flight. It looks like a screen grab, so I don't know that we'll be able to pop this.
I think Jonathan did some work on this. Boom. You know that he applied a filter to make it less blurry?
Really?
I don't know how that worked. How is that even possible?
It's the unblurry filter somehow. I don't know. Take flight. 1 cost. Light warrior attack action. 4 attack, 3 defense. Good math. As additional cost to play take flight, you may charge your soul. If you charge this turn, it gains go again.
This is the card. I mean, this is your bread and butter right here. Don't you love seeing it?
That's
Your bread and butter. This is what you serve before the meal here.
That's right.
Every time. Take flight, take flight, take flight.
That is the starter right there.
Yeah.
And then the meal is on the way. You know? Adrenaline Rush. 2 cost blue. 2 attack, 2 defense. When you play Adrenaline Rush, if you have less life than an opposing hero, it gains +3.
Now, I assume, is this a common?
Yeah.
So this will probably come in red as well as a 4 cost that gets +3 with less life.
It wouldn't be a 4 cost.
Or a 4 attack, sorry.
It'd be a red 2 for 4 with +3 if you have less life.
So if you imagine like,
wizard,
so
man.
Scar for a Scar is 0 for 4 and go again. Life for a Life is 1 for 4. They lose 1. You gain 1?
You gain 1. They don't lose any.
And then this one is essentially +3, so you don't gain life. But it's kind of a similar trade because that's worth, Life for Life is worth 5. This one's worth 7 at 2.
Yeah, but
so it's like,
but this also doesn't have go again.
It doesn't have go again. So you lose go again, but get +1 to your value meter. Yeah, so that's a good card.
Again, the book writes itself, man.
It does, yeah. We could design this game. Just give us the equations, and we'll
once
spit out
you designed the game, we could design it. You know, I mean, it's easy. Seek Horizon, yellow, beautiful looking card. I love this art. 0 cost, 3 attack, 2 defense. As additional cost to play Seek Horizon, you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. If you do, Seek Horizon gains go again.
Yeah, this is a weird card. Imagine it in red, 0 for 4. Put something on top, go again.
Dude, this is so good for Azalea.
Yeah, everyone says that, you know, but here's the secret to Azalea that everybody needs to understand. You ready for this? The issue is not having arrows on top of your deck. That is not the problem with Azalea. There isn't a problem. Azalea's great. But you're literally losing a card from your hand to guarantee that you have an arrow on top.
But like when you're playing Death Dealer, you use Death Dealer, load this card down, put the arrow of choice on top, or a draw.
The arrow of choice that's in your hand.
Well, then you draw.
Yeah.
So then of all of those arrows, you can fire this card from your arsenal, and then choose one to get dominate.
Yeah. It's basically lose a card to give your arrow dominate. But I'm not having a problem giving arrows dominate.
Yeah, you're having
My problem is I need more cards.
Yeah, you're just having a problem winning the game. Yeah.
But I do like this. I like it as a 0 for 4. I think the secondary effect of putting it on top, Azalea can particularly utilize in a way that's not a very big downside.
Yeah.
So that's worthwhile.
Hungering Slaughter Beast. Ooh, Shadow Brute attack action. 2 cost, 7 damage, 3 defense. That's good math. As additional cost to play it, banish 3 random cards from your graveyard. It also has Blood Debt. Fits right in.
So like the Graveyard Marauder, our promo, is a 1/6/3 with banish the 3 from your graveyard with Blood Debt. This is a 2/7/3. So you pay an additional cost, you get an additional attack.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Math. Stony Wattenhog.
Isn't that cool? I love all the little Savage Land beasts that we get to see. Oh, we got a black square on the screen.
Beautiful card.
Stephen removed his pants. That's right. We got to censor this. You don't want to see what's going on right here.
Okay. I assume red would be 2 for 6.
I always watch Conan O'Brien. Did you ever watch Conan on late night?
I have.
He'd always do weird stuff like this where he was like crawling on the, like that kind of stuff.
We're going to move on. Overload.
We'll keep going. Yeah, we'll keep going. They probably, I see the computer restarting over there.
Oh, that's why it's black. Well, wait.
This is when you'd like to cut to the booth. I would love to be able to do that.
Just them freaking out.
You ever watch Das Boot? You ever seen that? It's a movie of a crew in a submarine. There's a lot of screaming and
I haven't.
Emergencies.
I have not.
That's what it would be like when we cut to the booth and there's like,
Because that's the only time we would cut there. When there's a catastrophe.
There it is. We're back.
What is that card?
That's the slaughtering hunger man.
Stony Wattenhog?
No. Stony Wootenhog.
Wootenhog. Woot. What is that?
Yeah, we're there.
Oh, there it
Stone
is.
Hog,
The
yeah.
Hungarian Slaughter Beast.
There's the Wooten Hog. We're good. We're good, Bryce. Stick on the hog.
Nah, the hog's fine.
Did we cover the hog?
While it's offended by less than 2 non-equipment cards, it has +1. So I assume the red is 2 for 6, maybe a 7 if they don't block with 2.
Yeah, but that's less good, honestly. I think the yellow and blue versions are a lot better because, like, if you block a 6 with 2 cards, you're already gonna block it with 2 cards. Yeah. What's the point of the effect? But a 5, it's like, well, I would take 2 damage, but now I'm taking 3. I think the blue is actually where the money is on that card.
Literally, it's a blue.
Yeah,
it's got the money.
I think that's where it's at.
Overload. This is an interesting card. 0 cost, blue. So I presume the red would be a 3. It has a dominate, and if it hits, it gains go again.
I love that. I think this card is hilariously good.
I think it's good too.
You imagine that the red version is a 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Heard that before.
So it's... You didn't say it, did you?
I did, yeah. Specifically. That was our first thing.
So...
We're just having a good time.
This is a platform. First of all, dominate for 1 is so funny to me that I almost just want to do it.
Of course, blue. Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's like, you can only block it with 1.
Why are we even here? Yeah.
But really, this looks like, to me, a platform for attack reactions.
Yeah, or attack pre-actions.
Say again?
Just the actions that gave your next thing plus.
Is that a 0? Is it a 0 cost there?
Yeah, 0. That's like that thing that makes it a Phantasm +5 as an example. Suddenly it's dominated, and if it hits, it gains go again. That's really annoying. Minnowism, I don't know what it does. I just think it does something good here.
It's +3 to an attack of 3 attack or less.
Built in.
So it becomes a 6 damage dominate attack with go again.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I love these little generics, man. This is what I come for. I mean, this is the game to me.
We're almost to the real heat. Trimmer of Arathiel. I'm pleased with how I ended up saying that.
We're all very happy for it, really. We're
all blue, 1 cost, 2 attack, 2 defense. If a card has been put into your banish zone this turn, Trimmer gains +2.
Yeah. So we're assuming a 4 becomes a 6 at red?
Yep.
Or do you think that it's always a 2 cost? Blue is gains +2, yellow is gains +3, and red is gains +4.
It's one of those.
It is one of those.
I'm going to guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, a 1 for presumably a 6.
Yep. See, like Push the Point does similar math. It's a 1 for 4, but if you've hit with your last attack, it's a 1 for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really, I mean, this is the math that you want in the game. You want this to be happening.
Yeah.
Now, let's hold off on it. We're about to cover mentors. Let's not do that, Zach.
You want to go to the other cards first?
I don't think we should do any more. I think we should save it for the Blitz decks.
All right.
Because we're going to be playing Blitz.
Oh, that's all the Blitz cards.
On Thursday, and I want to talk about the mentors while we play them and those kinds of things.
I'm into it. So let me close this out and get back to chat.
We'll ask you, guys, if you have any questions. Of course, we're here to hang out and answer and just be a little community here for a second. We're going to be playing the Blitz decks on Thursday, and we'll play all of them. We'll play them over and over again.
All kinds of different matchups.
We'll show you how to be so good at Flesh and Blood Monarch, particularly, that you'll never lose a game again. Because if you haven't gained from the past year plus of our streaming, Zach and I have reached the pinnacle of this game. So much so that we can make crazy arguments for why those new Warrior boots are not actually as good as they are. And if you weren't impressed by that, I just don't know what to tell you. Because that is something that I've never witnessed anything quite so majestic as that explanation of why the boots are really okay.
Did you ever have...
You're on a totally new level, man.
Those instances in college where the professor would assign you and or your group, you had to argue something you fundamentally did not believe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's philosophy.
Yeah, see, I got very little of that, but the times I did get that were notable. Yeah, there were a few real fun ones that had to happen.
Okay.
But as it turns out, you said earlier that anything you say in the first 20 minutes of our videos is not to be believed. I think what you meant to say is anything you said in the first or last 20 minutes of our videos is not to be believed.
Across the entire, anything I say in a video is not to be believed at all. What's this question about? Proto7 says, to all you experts on Monarch, which of course I'm kidding about, but we will be playing Blitz on Thursday and we'll be having a great time with it. And we'll try to show the new mechanics and do them as good a justice as we can. I watched Noxus's video where he took some criticism from Reddit about the new set not having cards for the old heroes. Do you agree with that?
Who is
Noxus?
Noxious is how you say that, right?
Yeah, noxious. Noxious. What is that?
Content creator, I think.
Yeah.
But here's the reality.
So like a Magic person or a video game person?
Yes. I have no idea.
Both?
Here's
does one have
the
the
thing,
time?
right? We got Welcome to Wraith. 4 classes and generics.
Mm-hmm.
We got Arcane Rising. 4 classes and generics. So when Arcane Rising came out, the only cards you could play with these first heroes were the generics.
Right.
Then we got Crucible, which had cards for everything before it.
Sure.
So this is coming out, and we have cards. 3 of the classes are from old sets, and part of the cards are light or shadow only. Part of them are playable with the old ones. Plus, we still have generics. It's the biggest set yet, 300 plus cards, and then 1 new class. So like, there's as many playable cards with old cards in this set. I haven't done the math, but I would guess there's actually probably more playable cards with old classes in this set as in any previous set. Maybe with the exception of Crucible,
Yeah.
which had the downside of not being draft or sealable because it included so many different classes in it. So I think this is going to be very normal for the rest of the future of Fab. At most, hopefully, we'll get 1 new class in a set, and then you'll have Shadow and Dark or whatever the talents are. There'll be generics. There'll be generic like Warrior or generic whatever classes cards there are. But like, if a third of your set is playable with old stuff out of the 300 new cards, like that's...
There's actually a lot to get into on this. You're completely right about that. Apparently Noxious is a video game, card game, though, Canadian. So that's good. I love that. Most Canadians I've met have been really great.
Same.
There was one, oh my gosh, one Canadian that I will never forget. Horrible. Just kidding. Canadians are all great. Let's put them all in one big nice box. Here's the thing about this game. I think you need to stop putting it through a lens of like, this is how Magic has worked in the past, or this is how my favorite card game and previously has worked. Therefore, if things aren't working with Flesh and Blood like that, it's inherently flawed, right? That kind of thinking is just not productive here. What we need to be thinking instead is Flesh and Blood is taking a new approach to a game. That game is intended to never rotate, which is going to introduce some different ideas about how to release cards. That game is going to be focused on heroes. Those heroes are going to have very specific cards that they can play. So if you think about the grand scheme of like, first of all, the assumption is that new sets should have X percentage of cards that are playable by every possible hero that's ever been released. That to me is a ridiculous assumption based on what I know about Flesh and Blood development up to this point. That's just not feasible. But what it also means is not only do you get the generics like Zach mentioned, but every new set should create such an interesting and different play environment / metagame that with the same card pool you've always had access to, it should lead to different conclusions about the best way to do what you've been doing, right? So like Illusionist enters the battle as it were, and now I have to look at my ninja deck and say, okay, well, I wasn't playing 6 attacks in the old meta, but now I have to look through current generics that are released in Monarch and previous generics that are released and previous ninja cards that I wasn't playing and say, well, maybe I need to bring some of these into this new metagame. So I think it should be not just about like, I get 13 new cards every set and that's why I'm playing Flesh and Blood. It's like, I have a new puzzle to solve every time a set releases.
Yeah.
And if I just love playing one class, that puzzle is always interesting, and I get maybe a few generics and maybe some old cards that I have to think about in a new way, and then I get to go play with my favorite class in a new environment, and it's very satisfying to do that. And like Rangers, like for me, Ranger is the same. It's like there's some generics I've looked at and been like, that'd be interesting, but it's more about like, Sleep Dart gets better.
Way better.
So like maybe I should go to yellow and blue Sleep Dart at this point and raise a reflex now so that I can make sure the hit effect hits Levia or Levia, so that they take 6 damage at the start of their turn, right? I think that's really important. And so it's not, I mean, the question is it still going to be interesting and fulfilling to play an old class in a Monarch metagame? And I think the answer to that is 100% yes. We don't know that for sure yet. But I don't think we can judge that based on what are the number of cards that I could possibly slot into a deck. Because even with all the cards existing, I don't slot them all in, right?
Yeah.
So it's just about options.
We also had that article from James a couple weeks ago where he was talking about being designed for sealed and draft. So I think the other thing every set needs to bring to the table, when and where possible, and I'm curious if they do another Crucible-like set, which is basically an undraftable, unsealable set. And they might. That might be the template. 2 sets a year plus basically a booster set. But I'm as excited personally about what does the Monarch limited play look like.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not it's playable with the old stuff. And I get, not everyone collects every class. So if a set comes out and it doesn't have classes you're interested in, that might be a less interesting set for you. But hopefully the seal environment is such that you can find things that you like to play and enjoy that as well. And then if you don't want to collect that stuff, you can obviously trade and sell for whatever the stuff is you want to play. And I also like the idea of at any point, if there's 4 or 5 sets that Unlimited is readily available for, you have 4 or 5 very different draft sealed experiences at your fingertips, right? It's like a Tuesday night, you're hanging out at the store playing Fab, and it's like, oh, who wants to draft Monarch tonight? Or Welcome to Wraith, or whatever. So I don't know. I like each set having not being so generic. It's got a very particular identity. And that's not possible if you're making every set always playable with every class. It gets really just kind of generic at that point.
And that is the ultimate point, is that if the Monarch sealed and draft experience is, as a standalone game format, extremely fun, then it doesn't, to me, it honestly does not matter if those cards are immediately subbable into a constructed deck from a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't bother me. You will collect them and you'll have them as options later, and that'll probably come in handy. But like, if the experience of Monarch as a standalone experience is that good, then it's like, that's more important to me. Now, there are some players that are only going to buy boxes and play constructed, and I get that. But the lifeblood of these games is limited formats.
Yeah, and those players too obviously can buy singles for whatever they
definitely
want. And you know, it's tough. I mean, games go through this all the time, but like, if you bought Welcome to Wraith and you loved, I saw people talking about this actually, you loved Guardian, and you were like super amped on Guardian, and then Arcane Rising's coming out, it comes out, and it's like, there's nothing for Guardian specifically, there's generics, but no Guardian. That could be somewhat disappointing. But I think it's important now to understand that's just how this game works.
Yeah.
Like, there are going to be sets that come out where, you know, maybe as an example, I look at the Shadow cards, and it's like, Brood is a class Steven plays, so I haven't really been into that previously. And then also Runeblade, I really love Viscera. I still like Viscera conceptually better than I like Chain. I'm excited to explore Chain.
Sure.
But like, it's not, would I have rather just had a bunch of cards I could play with Viscera? Personally, maybe. But like, it's a, you need to be okay with that if you're going to want to play Flesh and Blood, because I think that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah, I think that's right.
For a lot of reasons.
It's different because, you know, most games are like, we've got 3 to 4 to 6 factions, and we release cards that every faction can play, and that's your experience. But trying to flesh out individual personalities in this game and have them actually have unique ways of interacting with the rule set, you're not going to be able to plaster every set with everybody getting those tools, especially if we get to 16 classes. I think, again, the most important thing is the way that you play the class changing from basically phase to phase of Flesh and Blood. And I think, like, already 100% for me.
Yeah. Well, and I think obviously, like, I'm hoping that Kingdoms, we get 2 more classes for Shadow and 2 more for Light. And then suddenly, even if you weren't, maybe I'm not interested in Illusionist or Warrior, but maybe there's a Light Guardian. And it's like, well, all those Light cards from last set are also suddenly interesting to me as well.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see. It's obviously I've thought this thing through, and I'm just here for the ride.
I'm along for the ride, yeah.
Layer it out. I'm going to enjoy the twists and turns as we go. And I'm just happy to be here. A lot of people in chat saying the same.
Because that's the thing, man. It's different. We want it to be different. We don't want it to be like everything that we've already done and played and experienced. I want it to be uniquely Flesh and Blood. I want to see how they're going to do it. So like, I'm with it.
I also really love the idea of going to a tournament and never playing against the same hero.
Yeah.
Like,
cool.
With all these like talent class stuff going on, it's like, I played so many games where there's 3 decks that are playable. And like, I would love if this was the game where there's 20 at a time.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah. I think we can get there with the heroes and the light and the talent and the dark, all that, the spread of everything.
Yeah.
I think we'll get there.
All right. Well, I believe. Your
your
optimism is...
wearing off on you. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, man.
Reminder, if you missed the front of the stream, we have Crucible of War Unlimited for pre-order on our website. It's a secure pre-order, so once you buy it, you're in. No backing out.
Yeah, the money's immediate. It's not a subscription. It's a normal pre-order.
We are not sending it through the unlimited subscription. We are also running out of unlimited subscription spots. So if you want to get Monarch Unlimited through the subscription, I recommend signing up sooner than later. We also launched our Armory League subscription. So you can sign up $20 a month and you participate in our online Armory League. You can find out more information about that on the website. And to everyone that's already been pre-ordering and subscribing and part of the Armory League, major shout out to all of you. The community on our Discord channel and our Armory League has been fantastic, and the support we've been receiving is great. So we appreciate it. We love being here, and we'll be back on Thursday to play some Blitz decks.
We're playing those Blitz decks. It's gonna be fun. We get the first taste of Monarch gameplay. We can put all these theories to the test. We hope to see you there. Now let me awkwardly click this button. Goodbye, everybody.